hit your mic, Sean.
Bad mic. Bad
Why are
mic.
we hitting the mic? Why are we hitting our mics?
It means like hit your mic, hit your mic, hit your mic.
Don't hit our mics? Hit your mic. Don't hit your mic. I don't know what's going on here. It's absolute pandemic. No,
I've just learned to listen to like all of the women in my life. So she's saying, well, hit the mic. I'm like hitting the mic immediately.
Following instructions is an important part about being a husband and a father.
No, Dare. I'll leave that to you. But I'm going to. You want me to hit the mic again? No.
Is this thing on? You can't put us on timeout.
Perfect. I'm on timeout.
You can't do that, Remain.
All right. Let me know when I'm activated.
I'm protesting in solidarity to my brethren. My brethren. Come on now. The market has been bleeding to the downside, obviously, pretty much all day. Rest in peace, headphones users. I guess that could be a little bit loud, so I will not tap the mic. I'm in a penny stock, and I'm in IBIT. In the IBITs, well, if you saw what Joe was doing, it's just been holding the low. And once I observed, I was like, whatever, let's just scalp this because I'm not in any shorts that I can hold. I've given up on the GameStop long from earlier, which was working most of the day. We had some bounce plays, like Tesla was good for a while, and then it absolutely just resumed trade. Although I don't know if Tesla's maybe made a real bottom in here. But 6% there, 6.5% on Nvidia. One of those days where, like, look at ARM, 7.5% down on ARM, 7.5% for them. So you want to talk about
6.5.
Yeah, but true. Well, I mean, it's
go on with
my whole point is it's nasty.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah,
it's bad. It's ugly. It's pandemonium. It's blood in the water. Like my quote board, which is just the stocks that I happen to be looking at. Like look at all the names of multiple points down to the downside here. You're going to have all the usual movers, and they're not looking strong. And if you look at where the strength is today, I mean, GameStop, obviously, that's just a bit of a different story. A little bit of energy with XOM, Oxy. I don't know why I don't have Chevron in here, but you can see oil futures to the upside. Even gold is flat. The banks, the financials, which had been so strong, even they're giving it up on a day like today. So it's a bit of an everything pullback to said downside. DKD just said AVGO was dropped $10 today. Yeah, they're not sparing much of anybody on a day like today. It's not like you can find these bastions of hope out there. Like GameStop was just a momentum trade that you could take advantage of. I tried it half-heartedly at VWAP there again. I'm not wondering if GameStop shouldn't be a short under VWAP. See, I should have. It's not enough to just be like, no, I don't like it. You should also maybe reverse into the short, which I'm thinking is starting to run away from us here. Anything losing it now as the market goes lower, probably a nice continuous play. Maybe we can get a bounce to short GameStop because look at how quickly after holding a level, it just goes to the downside if you get a flat bottom break. Oh, and the other thing you might see me in at some point, if 23andMe ticks in to the south side, it's supposed to be deleted today.
Oh, okay.
That's all. So there's a flat bottom on it at 57 cents. If that breaks, I'm short that stock, but could be boring for everybody else. But GameStop and shorting pops. We're going to buy this bottom on IBIT as long as it holds. If it makes a fresh low, I'm out. That's simple.
I bought some more. I bought some Nasdaq during lunch. We talked about that. It was actually about 10 minutes ago. I posted it in the chat right before we came back on air. I did buy the Nasdaq. So a little bit there. We just, like I'm saying, dripping in a little bit every once in a while right there. So, okay, we just got Nvidia down there again. So these are the positions that we're in. Look, man, we're still in this short from AMD, just a real small position, but all the way down here, $6. We actually have the NASDAQ as well. These were all levels that we wrote down today, just straight to the downside. I mean, had no idea that we were going to be down 2% today on the NASDAQ, but we are climbing back with Nvidia. We've just been buying these dips, man. No stop outs at all down here. Just buy, buy, buy. Actually, we did get stopped out of this one. This 113, once it broke 113, we got stopped out right there, but we've been buying back these 70s or 80s and getting out on the top end. So right now, it looks like the top end is going to be 13s. So we're in the money 18 cents on Nvidia, which is nothing. Like, we want to make $1.80. We want to make $2, $3 there back to the upside. I just don't know if it's going to be happening today. So I've been scalping it out like every single time. Look at this. Like, we buy this dip there. We're probably going to talk about Nvidia, so I don't know really what, but Sharif's ready. But we're just saying, we've been buying this dip out at the 50, buying this dip out at the 50, basically out at the 50. We got out at 113.20. This was a really good trade. This was 112.75, 113.25s. So I'm just waiting for a break rate here of 75. If that breaks, we're gone. So right now, waiting for Nvidia, and we'll reload a little bit, but like 15, 20 cents lower than where we are right now, we're gone. We're just going to be in this for hopefully a good time on the way back up, but definitely not a long time if it goes down. So, all right, we are ready now at the desk. I'm sure that there's going to be chip names. There's probably going to be Tesla. There's probably going to be crypto. So let's go find out what's on the board.
I would imagine so.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The boys are locked and loaded, ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. Let's have a look at here at the triple Qs. Very negative today on all four major averages, with the NQ leading the way down, almost down 2%. We are at lows, guys, 1.94 last time I looked. The ES also suffering 1.23. Likewise with the Rus, 1.25, with the Dow faring the best of the bunch, down only 0.4. We'll keep an eye out on the Dow. Here's a look at the first ticker as decided by you, Tesla, down aggressively over 6%. Multiple different headlines today, most of them negative. It looks like Canada bars Tesla from EV rebates program, calling the tariffs, despite the fact that Elon Musk has nothing to do with them, illegitimate and illegal. Also positive here that they're looking to open up sales in Saudi Arabia. They already have a presence in the Middle East, but not officially. And this came in later in the day that the U.S. is weighing excluding auto parts from tariffs, cites a Wall Street Journal. So we'll have to see how that benefits Tesla, but the price action does not show that, guys.
If you looked at the biggest mover I saw in that not auto parts was Magna here in Canada. Magna is a major auto parts maker here. Obviously, they're making parts for just everybody in North America, just to keep it simple. And they got a really big spike on that story. I think all we're seeing here in Tesla, we had a very good rally off the bottom. And anytime you have big moves up, that old 3 days up on strength, and then you get that pullback. It went right into the 200 period and failed the 200 period moving average. Not entirely, I'm not entirely sure how much, the Canadian, okay, fine, no rebate. I don't think that's that big of a deal. We're in a trade war. You're going to see stuff like this. When it gets resolved, ultimately, if you think about fundamentally how most of the political parties think here, it's not as if they'd want to take away rebates on EVs for a long period of time. That's something that they would believe in. So I don't think that's that big of a story. It's just the loss of the 200 period and the move to the downside. I made one trade in Tesla and stared it down. I feel like it should have been two because there was a VWAP retracement. That's easy to say after the fact. But my point will be, if you're ever, and almost every single one of the times I try to pick a bottom, it's been capitulation candle, wick, scalp to the range, right? So get the V shape and scalp it to here, and then just get out of Dodge. Unless it's showing you a support range, which IBIT's doing, like try to get in, get out. Like there's maybe little shots like this. I don't know why I would have done it at 269, but I think we're in a day where you can maybe see a relief rally at some point. But let's let it make some higher highs and higher lows, or it's just going to be capitulation type bottoms for me this afternoon. Because if you get all the way to VWAP, that's probably happening in power hour, and I don't know that you're going to want to be shorting something like this if we make it all the way back into VWAP. So, yeah, Tesla, I don't wonder if we aren't possibly on the way back to this was our little relief rally and we could be headed back down. It's not shocking. We had a good move in the last few days. I mean, Tesla, it gave you 30% on that little push. And there's other stocks which did pretty solid moves as well. So the fact that there's some profit taking and resistance at the 200 period shouldn't be terribly surprising.
No, I think it's fine and a little bit to be expected here. I mean, there's a lot of names today that are getting hit a lot.
Yeah.
Tesla's still down 6%, but there's other names that didn't have that 30% bump up. And I just want to say Nvidia right here at 13. We had just bought more down here at 80s. I think we sort of just talked about that. And there's the shelf again getting some out. I'm not holding this stock down. I mean, there's 200 million shares. I really hope that we can get going. My next offer's in the 20s, 24 to be exact. Apparently a good show. Yeah, I never watched it. All right, so we're talking about Tesla, right? So yeah, like 276 was a level from yesterday. You know, looking down here, we've picked our poison with Nvidia, bottom chasing, but I don't think there's anything wrong with this level right there at 270. So hopefully, come on, Nvidia. Nvidia is now 25 cents in the money. Hopefully, it can go higher. But this little level right there at 270, I think worth watching. So we'll see. It only spent a couple minutes underneath it. 270 looks like a good bottom there for Tesla. Again, I think it's just profit taking, a little bit of profit coming out of the name. So no surprise to me anyways for that. I don't think it's surprising anybody today. But Tesla, again, like the stock, like the name. Oh, that's back to Nvidia. Sorry, my bad. Right there on Tesla. I'm just thinking that, hey, that little level right there, let's try it. And then you know what? If it goes against you $1.50, you get out. So I feel like that's well worth it. We already got that bounce off from 268 up to 273. So if you felt bad about missing any of this, I still think you can get back in a little bit, like maybe 250. We talked about that, trying to go long above 250, short underneath it. So we gapped up. We didn't get too many longs at 250, but I think it might give us that opportunity one more time. All right, Nvidia, here we go. That's not even next, but Nvidia is starting to go upside a little bit. Let's take some more out here at 16s if we're lucky enough to do it. There it goes, man. Shelf busted. Let's see now if Nvidia can start to climb. Again, like this is what we're doing. Long and outs. Reload it and outs again. This is the best out we've had so far up here near the 20s. So let's see if Nvidia can't keep the momentum going to the upside. GameStop, I heard you trading this one, Sharif. So let's go figure out what's going on with GameStop.
Yeah, kept on this one, Sean, until it lost the bid there. But GameStop trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q4 earnings and EPS. And it didn't hurt, guys, that they're adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet, looking at adding it through equity, cash, and debt raising.
Debt raising, okay.
Raise debt, buy Bitcoin.
Yep, I like that.
Rinse, repeat. Okay, so 23andMe, BP weighing a stake in something. There's no story there. Shoot, I did get into that 23andMe. We're talking about GME, which oddly enough also ends in me. Let's try not to get confused. I was only long. Right. Actually, I haven't taken a short in GameStop, and it was tricky off the open because it did stop me out twice on the long side and just had to sort of jump back in. We were looking for it to hold on to, this is 27.5 aftermarket highs. If you pull up like Blue Ocean or any of the aftermarket markets, Blue Ocean or Moon, you would have seen 27.5 actually was supported as well. So it bounced off support. It was taking the higher lows. I half-heartedly took it at VWAP and gave it up because it just, everything was so weak. I think this is, if the market was weak and it was strong and now you're getting a reversal, this has broken its trend down when the market's trying to break trend up. I actually think GameStop turns into a bit of a short into VWAP here. So I want to flip the script on GameStop. If you look at it from the daily chart, it's perfectly reasonable. Even if it pulls back now, you could pull back into 27 and still be breaking out post-earnings on this and get a little hype out of it. So I don't necessarily want to stick a fork in any chance of a real squeeze move here for GameStop. But at least for this afternoon, after it broke its trend, I want to look to short some pops in GME. And just the only thing, only because I did get into it, 23andMe broke that shelf. There were no, you couldn't get any shares in the first 10 of the move. Supposed to be deleted today. So as long as it's under VWAP, I'm just going to be in the short. And if it comes out of sell imbalance, I'll probably just throw it into the auction or see what happens with it. But I don't expect crazy fireworks. And as I said, if it goes 2 cents out of the money, I'm out. IBIT, well, we're going to get to IBIT in a couple seconds, but I am on the offer where the high has been here at 49.3. So I should be on the other side of it. And then I've been waiting at VWAP since I started this game as well. So scalp it to here, hold it to VWAP if we start breaking on Bitcoin, which we'll get to.
Bitcoin, yeah, the coin of bits. We wrote down 28 as a possible level to get interested in on GameStop. It looked like that was pretty good. We did spend a little bit of time underneath there at 27.50, but you're coming into 28 again. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth the try. The shorts are always going to look good when you can find them. And today, the pre-market high worked again. So, short off 30, long off 28. $2 back and forth a couple times. You know, you would have had it there, down in, you would have got it again. And then if you're short again, you're here, there. So I think the rinsing and repeating of said name makes a little bit of sense. And then just quickly, as we're going to get over to Worksport in just 1 second, but there was GameStop, there's Nvidia, just gave us 20s. So I'm actually waiting at 24 right now to see if we can get that. Maybe I should be at 23 because Neil's involved with 23 and me.
You should go to 24 and then you should watch that show.
Yeah, I know. Isn't there? There's a couple seasons, isn't there?
There's a bunch of seasons at 24. It's a really
I ain't got time for that.
Well, I mean, you can do, the good thing about it is I don't think it needs to be binge. You can do a slow roll of it.
Yeah, no, I don't. Binging is.
There's no time.
Although we did watch that Running Point, that was pretty good. I like the shows now that are like sub an hour. I think 24 must be right because it was on cables. It's probably
it's one of those
42 minutes or
42
something.
minutes. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so that fits.
Yeah.
All right, introducing a new discovery on the Nasdaq. Of course, it's ticker WKSP in Cincinnati. Worksport is a U.S.-based. I don't know if they're in Cincinnati. That's just a show. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Adair, for that one. Worksport is a U.S.-based manufacturer and rapidly expanding. I'm probably the only one around here that would have done something that stupid. Expanding with growing revenues, government contracts, and innovative green energy products designed to power your life, of course, off the grid. Whether you're on the move or seeking sustainable energy solutions, Worksport has you covered. Now trading on the Nasdaq under the proper symbol WKSP. Discover the future of clean energy. We want to thank Worksport for continuously sponsoring the show here at Trader TV Live. All right, Sharif, let's go talk a little bit about Nvidia.
3 headlines today, all 3 negative on Nvidia. China looking at dissuading some of its companies from buying Nvidia's China-specific GPU, the H20. The U.S. responding by adding 50 Chinese entities to the export restriction list, curtailing access to Nvidia and AMD chips, as well as Huawei reporting doubles its AI chip yield to about 47% right now. Jensen Huang warning that the Chinese tech giants is the most formidable competitor despite U.S. sanctions.
Yeah.
Just before
adolescence, I thought my wife was like it was too sad or something. But I'm going to ask her the one we started.
As a parent, I'll tell you this right now. Someone in the chat was just saying watch Adolescence. I did watch it on the recommendation of a friend. It is cinematically one of the most impressive shows I've ever seen. Every episode is a single continuous shot. So they filmed the whole hour and they did it multiple times, and whichever one was the best take, they went with it. It is brilliant. The acting is absurd. But if you're a parent, it is not easy to watch if you're a parent. I'll just be honest with it, because it's called Adolescence. Obviously, yeah, the dad he did a brilliant job acting, but it was tough. Like I'm man.
If anything happens to a kid, I'm not watching.
I'm just saying, I'm man enough to say that I was getting teared up like multiple times during that show. You can get teared up if you look at your personal account on Nvidia today, easily. I mean, I'm not, but because it's only 6% and you have to have a long-term attitude with these kind of things. Whoops, zoomed out too far.
Come on,
but
Nvidia.
You got to start thinking about, you'll probably only see most longs that I've had, with the exception of Bitcoin, have looked like this. Pick a spot, take a shot, and then that's more or less it. What's sad about it is I actually did want an Nvidia. I wanted to pop and fade on Nvidia today. Spent most of the morning trading GME, and that worked to the upside at the time, and then we got a Tesla bounce. But Nvidia has just been bleeding to the downside. When I saw it make the double bottom, the reason I like this level here, if you just zoom out, you're actually at a spot where, in theory, there was some run, some resistance into support and breakout. So there's at least something down here. But I've been trying to take those one particular spots entries, and there haven't been too many on the chip names. And I mean, we've shown you the chart of ARM, we've shown you the chart of. It doesn't matter. They're all bleeding to the downside. I don't think this is a situation where I'd want to short at VWAP, but I'm looking for it to actually revert the trend since here, which it's trying to do right now. So I want trend breaks. I want capitulation bottoms. If it closes above, those are the shots that I'm trying to take, and then give it to the prior bar low. Just kind of hopefully one in, one out. It looks like it's trying to do it again, so kind of like here, I'll take a shot.
Yeah, Nvidia right now, it will be the #1 P&L name here across the shows. I can check what happened on the midday, but I think this one will be it. Right now, the thing is, though, I've traded like 5,000 shares like in total of this thing, and it's just back and forth. Like it's like I'm down on it, I'm up on it, I'm down on it, I'm up on it. Right now we happen to be up on it. We left this one alone completely until in here where we started buying again downside. So it's not even like we're using that many shares. It's just we've been in so many times. So up into here 130. So now we're starting to go. We just got our best fill ever on this last little bump up. So that's at least giving me some sort of hope. Right now, we just got 113.35s right there. So there we go, man. Buying the dip on Nvidia. If we're going to have a big day, it's going to have to be around this name now. So let's wait to see what happens with Nvidia trying to climb all the way back. And I think if we can get something around here, 113.50, we should be pretty good. And that's where we are right now. So there goes Nvidia on a good, again, good amount of shares, but we would like to look a little bit more. We'll get something out here at 47s. We're offering 47. Let's see if we get that fill. For right now, it's Nvidia's world, man, and it's starting to go back up, so we like that. But we just missed our fill at 47. Hopefully, we can get it. Let's watch, see what happens around 50. This is an area to start thinking about getting out, in my opinion. We had sort of stopped around here before. So we missed that 50. Let's get a 41. There it is. So we get the 41. We can cancel the 47, and now we'll see what happens with NVDA. I like the stock off these lows, down 6%. If the Nasdaq's going to rally, something's going to help it, and I hope. But did you like the video? That's a good one. Oh, this show, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and all that. So the show that I started watching, I asked the wife, she's not around right now, but she'll probably be there. It was on Netflix. It's brand new. It has Gustavo Fring, the guy who's dead in it in the beginning. It's not a spoiler alert. It happens right in the very first show there. It's in the White House. I can't remember the name of it, but it's on Netflix. I saw
the trailer for it. And
it's this black lady that's
I added to my list. She's the investigator.
And it's great. It's really
it looks hilarious.
Pretty funny. It's pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what we just started that last night. Oh, I can't remember what it is. A couple good people in that show for sure too.
There was there was a couple other people I recognize.
Damn, I forget what it's called, but anyways, that show is the one that we're on right now. So, all right, let's go back over to the desk and find out about Amazon.
2 1/3 in the negative. Sean here. Amazon testing a couple of new different AI products. One to help you with shopping, the other to help you with health, both based on large language models. Andy Jassy coming out yesterday and saying there are over 1,000 different AI platforms in development right now at Amazon, guys. Didn't matter, down 2 1/3.
Yeah, the residents, someone just had that. Right.
Amazon's not bound. There's a few things that are not participating in this rally. But Amazon, I mean, 200. And that's $200, and that's 200 period moving average. You're now $1 away. I mean, if you like strength, or if you like support turning into resistance, I mean, that's got to be the level for you. I mean, a test of that for a trend break makes some sense to me. The good thing about Amazon is at least it's above this. Like, even with this pullback, it's still respecting a decent reversal of the trend, and there's not many of these names that are actually holding up pretty well. I mean, Meta's doing pretty well, and then Amazon's doing pretty well, but you got to have some give off 200. I don't like the fact that you've just rallied. I mean, come on, consecutive green candles on the 15-minute of the Qs for the second time today, and Amazon is at a major support level and not going. So I prefer something which is actually breaking the trend. I don't mind, like, if I don't get picked up in Nvidia, and that's not the greatest trend line. You could draw it a lot of ways. I like to do it the maximum intersection. If it holds this bottom here and doesn't push to 200 even, I don't mind taking that kind of a setup as well on Amazon. But ideally, it would be a little bit lower, like press into 200, and then give us the actual bottom on AMZN. If we're talking about the long term, I think they're great. I just preferred Meta. That's all. It's nothing against Amazon. I own them both. It's just the one that I wanted to buy at the 200 was Meta instead of Amazon. You make a pick and you go with it, and either one of them working out.
I think we should talk about this quickly because we are going to get hopefully stopped out, because that means Nvidia is running. So we're still in this AMD, right, at $6. We're getting it stopped out at 109.75 break. So that's sort of this top right here that we looked at. I mean, we're right there right now. We almost got run. So that's where we're getting stopped out, because I was like, wait a second, Nvidia is really running here. Why am I not out of this? And then the TQs as well. The stop I put in just before we came back on air, 64 flat. So this is another name that we had shorted right from the jump there. This was one that we had on our sticky. We had both of them on our sticky note, but we got stopped out of AMD early, then back in. But it's this trade right there on the TQs that continues to go down. But you know, the majority of them were out right here for roughly a little bit $1.30, $1.40 right there, as we weren't certain of this kind of a move down. We're still above 20,000 on the Nasdaq, so maybe me buying a little early here today during lunchtime could have been a problem. But I do think that Nasdaq 20,000 is going to be interesting, but we're not there yet. So let's go. Those are my stops. So we are going to get stopped out on Nvidia, hopefully on AMD, hopefully pretty soon. And there goes Nvidia. Just look at all of the outs, man. It's just so many, but we're going to get up here again. Just don't trust these longs. Let's see if we can hold it into the 60s. Next offer 60 flat for NVDA. All right, Sharif, one more Bitcoin.
Yes, sir. No real specific catalyst today for this one, Sean, other than GameStop obviously adding it to its balance sheet. But this came in midday. The SEC Crypto Task Force schedules 4 more roundtable regulation meetings. Here's what they're going to discuss, guys. They're going to talk about regulation. They're going to tackle trading rules, custody standards, asset tokenization, decentralized finance, and basically looking at making the regulatory framework a little bit clearer.
Yeah, like the catalyst wasn't existent today. It followed the market, no questions asked. Maybe not as much of a bloodbath, but it went station to station on IBIT. I did have a long early when it held our first support, like where we were trading it yesterday. Yeah, you guys remember 24 hours ago, literally, actually I think, yeah, well, okay, not literally. At about 230, 240, that's when it was dipping into this 49.8 level and gave those longs on Bitcoin yesterday. And we were both long the stock and it gave you a great rally. Well, it looked like it was holding in the morning when the market was going down. So I went into the long, got a couple of legs out there only to see it break the bottom. So there was no continuation. I mean, it's a pretty simple trade, like once it was out. Obviously, a reverse short would have been great, but now you're just range bound. So it's 49.10 is the low on IBIT, but if you look at it on actual BTC, hey, we've been here before. We did this already at this price where you barcoded. So this is a support level at about 86.5 on Bitcoin, and therefore scalping the longs, looking for the VWAP retracement here in IBIT, and as long as it holds the range, while the market was making lower lows, this was holding the bottom. So I always like to see that, because that way if the market reverses, you know, you've never been stopped out ideally at that level, and you're trying to hold on for a bigger move. Not much to add to it on the higher time frame because it's a range-bound trade here on Bitcoin. And we had a poll this morning that was about what do you think you'll see before we wanted to change it to the end of April. Do you think we see 75 or do you think we see 100? I kind of feel as if like the next move, because we're holding out so well, would be at least a test to break into the 90s. Whether or not that can get all the way to 100, that might be asking a lot. But I think you can at least sneak and make a test of those highs before potentially, and I think you're probably headed down before, but I think you'll sneak into the mid 90s before that happens, and then maybe reject under 100. Still feel as if this move should take us to the bottom of the range, but without a test of the top on the daily, I'd be surprised if we hit that low before retesting this local top.
So see, like I just keep, this is why I have so many outs. Like we just got out of Nvidia at 60, a little bit of it. We have about 20% left, maybe a little bit more. And then it went down into 55 and I got some more out because I was like, oh, what if it breaks back below? Anyways, there goes Nvidia. Getting close. Hold on a second. I haven't seen Ozan today. Maybe if we hit the cow, he comes back. All right, so there it goes. I mean, now we're basically $1 as it's continuously going higher here on Nvidia. It's too bad, man. We came really close to getting more shares there off that base. So bye-bye Nvidia. Now smoothly $1 almost in the money. I'm going to take another piece out right there at 77. So there it goes. More outs there. More life as it comes back up to the upside. So far, so good right there. Let's just keep on supporting that decision to stay long and strong on Nvidia, and it just continues to climb here. So that was a good call out for sure. All right, so Disney. And again, we talked about that on the midday, right? If you guys are watching the midday, I'll be sitting here putting up my trades in the chat. I know a lot of you guys are asking about that. And then sometimes I'll tag Joe because we're in the same things. So, all right, there's Disney. We talked about this $100 level, man. I hope some of you had it. Obviously, I didn't because there's no mark there. But right down there at $100.25 was the low of the day for Disney as the market really coming in today. Disney coming in, but not that much. It was upgraded. I've been reading about Disney there. Some of their valuations right now looking pretty cheap. Let me just double check what the PE is. I thought it was like 21 or 22. Hold on a second here. Disney, 18 right now, so 1850 forward PE on the guide, I guess, but we'll wait to see current PE 32. So, back and forth a little bit if you want to get some value there. I think Disney could be there, although I will not be continuing my Disney subscription. I just have to make sure I cancel that. I don't know the last time we watched anything.
Watch Paradise first.
Paradise? Is that Apple, though? Paradise? I don't know. Anyway,
no, Paradise is on Disney.
Oh, is it?
It's good.
Yeah, it's ringing a bell. I don't know. What
good? Smiley Friends?
Smiling Friends?
Fabian.
I'm not. It's not up till May. I got the thing that it's increasing the price again. So this.
Oh, they are?
Yep. So Disney. Yeah. So good job, Ramin. Ramin also canceled.
The problem is my Moana 2 just hit it, and so. We saw Moana 2 in the theater, but like my daughter's already watched it, probably twice already. I mean, once full through, and then she's already flipped through it. So it's going to be a tough sell for me, because I even said I'd probably cancel it till the next thing I want to watch on Star Wars comes out. So I don't know what the next the next series is coming out this year. I feel like I'll probably watch that and then maybe dump it and then wait for something else to come back.
Right.
Because there's I'm not that interested in the Marvel stuff anymore. So
exactly. It's
just Star Wars for me, and then whatever my daughter wants to watch. But the Moana, they pull you in, and then that's the problem. Just one more. I mean, GameStop is not bouncing here, so we wanted to fade this after it shorted, after it started breaking down. So forget about VWAP. Next pop, 28.5 we'll look for. So if it does any kind of a pop, now that this is turned, market's turned, this is turned from uptrend to downtrend when the market did the other thing. Yeah, so I want to see if I can get an offer here on GME. I'm very certain that I paid for locates, but I'm going to throw the order out there just to be sure. So we'll short the pop in that. IBIT hasn't hit the reload. I was able to get some shares out there in front of 30, but there hasn't been a bounce back into the teens to be able to get into the trade. So we're going to have that look at Amazon, I guess, as Amazon is now breaking away from the lows. It's bouncing the 200 period in general, and it's also breaking trend in here, joining the party. So any entry on Amazon, the stop is if it makes a new low of day, regardless. It doesn't matter the price I get in, because I would never chase it that far. So I'm going to get the stop in just to see if it closes above the trend line. And again, it's mostly a line of best fit. Look, if I did the same thing here, although this wouldn't have been the trend line at the time, clearly, you would have, in this situation, if you take that, you would have lost on it. But that wasn't the trend line at the time. It's trying to break it now, and we'll look to get in on Amazon. Zeke, what do you think of Palantir, please? Sure. I've been in Palantir. I was long.
Never heard of it.
Palantir was frustrating this morning. If you're watching the morning show, you saw me stare down this move, looking for the tape to turn on Palantir. I punched in and misplaced my stop. So I punched in, was to throw the stop there, threw the stop for it's just a keystroke. I don't have a reason for throwing it at the wrong price. I just didn't put it at the low. I might have actually even thrown it way at a ridiculously wrong price, and it just happened to stop out almost right away. But that was a great bounce. I then shorted it off VWAP. That was okay, but did not hold on. Had a long that worked, and then long after. This is the one that didn't work. But all the damage was done here on Palantir. Palantir was my worst stock of the day for the entirety of the day. I got some of it back, and now SMCI is the worst. But Palantir, just because of that one, because that was the first trade where I really tried something that wasn't GME, and it was frustrating. But general thought is all stocks are pulling back after great rallies. The good news for Palantir, and it's a similar piece of good news that Amazon has, it's that you broke past the major moving average. In this case, it's the 50, and you pulled back, and so far you're supporting it. So that's about $90.50. So it hasn't broken that level. That's why I was looking for reversal longs on Palantir around here. It just pulled back into a higher low. And if you're pulling back into a higher low, that's not too bad. 5% seems crazy, but Palantir was at 73 2 weeks ago. And it's pulled back from 98 to 91. For now, this isn't that big of a deal. Obviously, you could lose this, and 2 weeks from now, we could be back at 73. But till then, it's a little bit of a healthy pullback in PLTR. It looks like Amazon is not breaking that trend line at all. So, you want to see it close breaking the trend line. If it makes a fresh low, all bets are off for me. And Palantir, I'm looking at Amazon right now over Palantir. And as I said, with this 23andMe, I'm just looking to add to a short to hold into the close. It's SSR. It's not doing ridiculous. It's only done a couple million shares in volume. But if it comes out even a million sell, it's going to take my shot. If it comes out as nothing, I'm going to punch out.
Yeah, okay, good look there. All right, so just quickly here on Nvidia, because it's coming back in, and then we'll look at some more names for everybody. So we've just been getting out on the way back down in now. So we have about that little bit more than 10%. Again, I don't know how many shares I have left. Like I said, man, almost 5,000. It's just a matter of getting out and trying to figure out how much we have left, because I like to tell everybody what exactly is going on with some of these trades. So Nvidia will be the number one. As far as Palantir, like, this crushed me today because we were long. It's not that it was, just that take early. I can maybe zoom in here a little bit on Palantir just to show you guys. So we like that break, and it happened early, which is fine. Like, I was there for it. It's just the Nasdaq is not. The Nasdaq's down 2%. So we broke. It went right up. So we got 96.80s, which is exactly what we wrote down on the sticky note. So we like that trade. It busted up. We got 97.24 for about 48 cents, something like that. And then it came back, and then we supported VWAP right there. Then it went all the way back up to the upside, but at the same time, we got stopped out. So we bought it at VWAP, then it kept coming down in, then we got stopped out. So right there, that was like almost about, that was 96.80 plus a 96.50, and then out 96.15s or 20s or 10s. So that's about like a 60 or 70 cent hit. Then we bought it back, didn't get it all out. Then it came back in, bought more right there, and then it dropped out. So this will be my red stock and the worst one of the day. And I'm flat. Thank you for asking there on the day. But a biscuit head, you can always ask. So yeah, right now we really haven't had, although we have AMD and we have the TQs, they're just kind of making up for our Palantir, because we did go, like, I always go ham. So basically, so right there, that was not great. It's good that we got out, or else, whoa, that would have been a problem. So yeah, we're just right now in our comfort zone, but yeah, trying to get that big winner to get us back to Greensville. We are, obviously, we're still red, as you asked me. So I'm always the one saying, ask us anything. So I'm definitely going to tell you guys. And the thing is that we're red less than one of our daily goals. So it's just playing around right here. And I just didn't have enough confidence to really hammer this Nvidia, because we had gotten stopped out on this. Like, we got stopped out there, although we didn't have much left. We got stopped out right there. Again, not much left. One of these stop outs was not great. And then since then, it's just been straight up to the backside. So yeah, the problem was Palantir. We did have our biggest share position. So, and I always told you that it's like, that's the one problem that I have is, too many shares, sometimes a little bit too early, but we're all good, man. And we'll just wait. Again, we got to get out. Like, we're still in unrealized winners. So we're in an unrealized winner with AMD, and we're in obviously one with the TQs here as well. So, trading's been good. It's just that one hit right there holding the fort for me. And other than that, man, not much else. Like, looking for more names. That MLGO, 11, all right, I was hoping for 10, bounced off 10 there. That BBAI was 320, that's New York, is it?
I'm surprised MLGO did as well as it did today.
Yeah.
On a day like today, I would have expected MLGO to be really nasty. I tried to answer in the chat. For M. Mason, just for some terminology, because I do the same thing. M. Mason, flat, question mark. So I use the term, and I'm pretty sure Sean does too, interchangeably for flat. Flat can either mean getting out of a position, not being in position, or it could just mean getting out of position at the same price you got in, right? Like, if you get in and out flat, it means you didn't make or lose. You just kind of punched in, punched out. Or it could just mean flat, you are not holding a position anymore. So get flat. If you hear us use that term, that's all it means. And yeah, it's always worth asking. I'll say things like, I want to fade this move, and what the heck is a fade? I could use one right now, as you guys can tell.
I have written down here fade that AMD move.
Yeah, it usually just means short into an up move. Generally speaking, like, if the stock's going up, I want to fade it. You guys, most people understand that. But there was a super chat in here. I haven't I didn't see it, but thank you for reminding us. Ali in the chat with the super chat. Come on, GameStop. Pop a little bit so we can join this party. SPY to fill gap at 564 this week. Well, let's have a look. I feel like we've already been filling some gaps in here today. That's not going to matter. Well, you're going to hardly see me disagree with that kind of a thesis when it's pull back into the obvious prior support and the 200 period moving average. So usually you'll find support on the other way back in on the other side of it. This would be the gap to 64. The issue with that is you're going to have, like, it's more of a range than anything else. You just sort of stick a line in it right there at 64. You could reasonably have support anywhere in here. Like, you had a close prior day at like 66, so that could be a level. I think generally speaking, once you started heading down, like, your target could be somewhere in that range. I don't think it's different from Palantir, where I'm thinking it could potentially bounce. Like, yeah, you've got these prior highs, but that could be anywhere from 90 to the 91 area. It's more of an area of like prior resistance into support. That's the thing. When you have a support line, it's very different from resistance turning into support. Like IBIT is a similar story, and then it's now just flat out support on the bid. You can see it holding that level, whereas the SPY is just pulling into a prior level. So we'll see what happens when it gets there. Adara.
For our Canadian traders here, keep an eye on TU. This is TELUS trading on the TSE. Globe and Mail reporting that the company has formally put a stake in its countrywide cell phone tower network up for sale for roughly $1 billion. So again, TU apparently trying to sell a stake in its tower network business for roughly $1 billion, currently at days highs for TELUS. Back to you.
Bell, TELUS. Go Bell.
Yeah, I'm with TELUS, so we'll see. Get down lower, they can offer better prices. All right, so I was just going to wait to get long on the TQs. Like, we had just mentioned getting out on Tesla, on Nvidia, and it's dropping right in like a rock right now. I mean, we did really well to get out there. We actually indicated some of our prices where we wanted to get out, right? We sort of talked about getting out into here, like these were the exact levels, up into the 200 period. I'll reload this, but it has to be like in the 80s, basically, like down into here again. We'll see about a reload, and then watching out for that drop through 70 for sure will be the end of that trade. So just making sure that we have that in if that does come in. And then I just want to talk about one more thing, and that was the Nasdaq. So Nasdaq coming in, I want to make this play right here, bouncing off this level. So it doesn't hold, we're gone. That's $63. My stop is going to be $62.80. So we could get run. And the thing is like, the more and more, obviously, I trade the Qs and the futures and all that. You're not, especially on the futures, you're not going to nail it to the penny. You're not going to nail it, especially on the TQs, because TQQ has nothing to do with price. It's just a derivative of the Nasdaq. So it's 3x that. So like, if whatever you think is going to land here to the handle, like to the exact number, you're not, the way this is calculated and sort of the ETFs and, the algos and everything that trade this thing, like you could get run like 10 cents and then right back up just in a figuring out of positions or resizing or whatever. So we're first going to buy this. I wrote down 63.10, but I'm going to replace that with a little bit less shares. Just put on like the 1.5 units or so there, put on another couple units if we break 63, and then at the end of the day have like a 2 or 3 unit position on. So one that I like but don't love right there into the close for the TQs. So I would have much rather have been short, but we didn't quite get to the 200 period. I'm looking to short things at the 200, right? And if it can get there, then good. Like this was, boom, AMD low of the day right now, $6 in the money. And like my net's really not changing anything, because as Nvidia falls, we do have this AMD take as well as the TQ take. So this is a short. So we're going to get out at 10s is where we're bidding. And then we will try the long. So that's what we're going to do down here. It's coming pretty close right here. I just want to see if we can hold that level. I don't, that'll be down about 2% for the NASDAQ. We had bounced off there before. We talked about once, twice, thrice. And 3 times is some, one of those things where fool me once, All right, there it is, man. Now we are in to the TQs. So there's a fill that we just got. So let's wait to see what's up. What's up to my good friend Phil again? If this can come back up, we'll get something out there, maybe 17 or 18, just because, and then we'll see if we can get something out a little higher than that, man. Back, there it goes. Give me those 17s. There we go. We got some. So now we'll see if we can get it back upside there into the 20s. I just put an offer at 24 for, again, 10%. If I can do 10%, on the way up, that's basically what I'll try to do. The 50-period moving average is at 40s. So we'll get another 10% or so up near 40 and then see if that will happen. Otherwise, our stop, as we just said, is like 62.80. So we're looking for this kind of outsized move upside to justify this kind of position. But this is why we're only in 1 unit right now. So we'll hold it a little bit more than 1 unit, but we'll hold this and we'll just see what winds up happening. Light position here on the Nasdaq, trying to play for a little bit of a bump. Let's see what happens.
Exactly, and I just reloaded on IBIT. Nasdaq, it's almost like to a T. Like the Nasdaq hit the low. Here, I'll make that easier for everybody to see. The Nasdaq hit the low, and IBIT came right back in and reloaded at the bottom. Scalped the range. It's been 49. 10's the low, 15, 16 are the fills, and then try to get some out in 30 range. It hasn't really followed through that much, but scalp the range, and if it holds it, great. If we break the low, jump out. I'm still trying to grab short here in GameStop, so I'll throw that away. There's the reload. Play that range until it stops. GME is not really obliging in terms of pops. So I'm going to try to nibble in like a third and give it to the local top and see if it just does this gentle move to the downside to get to 27.5, then I want to try to get involved in front of 28. So I'm offering in front of 28 on GameStop. The other thing I'm looking for is like I have my my trade rate list up, which, you know, today it's all the usual suspects. Like if anything pops up, I'm going to try to jump over to it. I was looking for any small caps doing well that could be runners, especially on a day where the market's bleeding and hanging off the lows. Sometimes the best bet you'll get is a small capper that gets going. So if you guys see anything, you know, throw it in the chat. I'm not seeing anything that stands out at all, like, you know, in the micro algo ilk or that PTPI from this morning. Like I was having a look at that. I was like, oh yeah, it's above VWAP. Maybe it'll trend up. It's done 1 billion something shares, but the volume is struggling to get going on this. Even though it's setting up pretty decently, still some higher lows coming in, VWAP holding. You want the volume to pick up. That's what I'm going to look for in small cap space. But for now, trying to still get that short in GME. You know, right now Amazon is just not obliging in terms of breaking the trend. So I think we'll just have to stick with this, see what else is going. Clint saying Amazon is holding support. It is, but the other part of holding support, Clint, is doing something with it. Like it's at the 200. Like it's like IBIT's different. Because, like, I see this as, like, to me, this is support. Like, I know it's support, and therefore, if I go long in front of it, eventually you could break down. Like, and if you break down, I'm just out. But Amazon's still making, see, like, it's just making lower lows and lower highs the whole way through. It's looking for support. It just hasn't found it yet, like everything else. Like, this is wild. Like, maybe I just punch short into GameStop. Like, it's silly.
Yeah,
I mean, at some point, I'm just going to take one of these bottom breaks instead of waiting for the pop. You know,
I was going to say, man, basically the exact same thing. Like, why do I keep on looking for these bottoms? I mean, this is like the trader's kind of fallacy here. Like, you know, we see the market down so much, and all we try to do is catch the bottom and then wait for it to pop back up, and then when it doesn't, we stop out. It's fine. But, like, you know, maybe just start to play the trend a little bit here. Like, the TQs just came right in and basically did exactly, not exactly, but, you know, we were holding the short. We covered it 20 cents ago, and then it just, like, whacks even lower, just bang, bang, bang. Like, these are straight falling knives. Like, there is no good news. We're waiting to see if Adair can come in with some. But, yeah, right now, it's falling down. It's not necessarily London Bridge is falling or anything like that, but definitely right now the Brooklyn Bridge here. We'll find out if the Nasdaq can hold up because this is coming back in pretty good as we watch out for the TQs. I just got to make sure my stop is accurate. 62, yeah, 74 is where we're looking to get stopped out at. So I'm just going to put that order in. It looks like, there it goes. Okay, so 62.74. It wasn't in before, so that was good. Good thing we didn't. We didn't expect it to come in that quickly. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because that came in just a little quick. So yeah, we'll get stopped out if it does go back into that level. So right now, long at O's. Willing to give this one 25 cents, man. So that's where we're long at. We're long at 63 flat. You can see, well, it says 01. 63.01 there on the TQQs. trying to buy the Nasdaq here at the low of the day heading into power hour. But this could get real ramped up real quick. So, you know, that's where our stop is. Feel like we're being responsible for this, but this is why when you guys ask me if I'm green or red or whatever, and I'm saying red, it's because of stuff like this. Like we have a $6 winner on Nvidia. Or sorry, on AMD. But the thing is, like right now, I have like 200 times the shares on the TQs than I do as when I'm holding an AMD, because we had gotten out of our AMD trade when this first happened. So, you know, like this is great, but we don't have this. This is a brand new position. So if this falls down, then we will have max loss on this, right? And so that's the problem, is trying to catch these falling knives over and over and over again. So, all right, it's trying to retrace a little bit. You know, we're definitely not out of the woods. If you have trailed me on this and you're now back to zeros, fine, get out if you want, but we're just gonna try it a little bit more here and just see. That's our stop. If we get stopped out, we will be down one daily unit for the day, and that would be it. So we're pretty happy. We're not happy. We're never happy to be down, but you know, I think we've done pretty good with risk management, considering that we should be a hell of a lot more short than we are. So let's just be patient and see what happens.
Yeah, I said if IBIT broke the low, we'd get out. So it'll be no better than making back what we lost in the morning on IBIT. And I'm not reversing into the short here. There's no acceleration right now, and there is a bit of a void. But try to remember, Bitcoin is a 24-hour market, so there's a difference between like this gapping and something else. Like you have to look at the 24 hours. Like it's breaking today's low. I am gonna take this next pop here. We'll go to Darren in a quick little second. I'm on the offer. I think I just missed getting filled by like a couple of cents, but I'm gonna take this little shot, get in the third, give it to 28 and 2 1/4 on GameStop, which is still up, but now breaking trend and heading to the downside. Let's go to the desk with Adara.
I looked here, I couldn't find any news to explain that push to the downside in the market. I just wanted to touch base on that. One catalyst, though, that is on watch, it hasn't really moved anything, but I think it's on watch for the overall AI story. We have OpenAI forecasting revenue of $12.7 billion in 2025. That would be triple its revenue on a year-over-year basis, and they expect to double their revenue from 2024 by 2026. So revenue growth on watch here for OpenAI. But also here, it's worth noting, I want to announce this brand new post we're starting for TTV Research. I'm going to be trying to do this every single day. Here are all the events to keep an eye on for tomorrow's session. So you have a whole bunch of economic data at 8:30 a.m., GDP, retail inventories, wholesale inventories, couple earnings, one name, pre-market, Bitfarms in the crypto space, and then post-market you have Lululemon, and a whole bunch of industry events happening throughout the day. AbbVie, ACB, AstraZeneca, and Dutch Bros are all going to be on watch. So keep an eye on this here. This is going to be on X at TTV Research. It has been posted. You can check that out right now. Back to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Adara, for the update. Love those infographics. Love the information in the news when it comes out. Obviously, you know, you don't need a catalyst here today. I think it's just more about continuation. The trend has been to the downside pretty precipitously. Like a few names have gotten away with it today. When I heard Joe talk about this one, and it makes sense. I mean, Procter's up 2 points. It's just, I think it's probably one of those like rotation plays. Like if everything bleeds and tech bleeds and all that stuff comes back in, then something like Procter, a little bit safer, finds a support level and comes back to the upside. I don't know how much I'd believe in this rally. This is a stock that only goes sideways. So I would think if the market reverts, like this is probably going to come back in there. I'd be more interested, you know, in terms of strong names. I want to find something which is continuation strong that I would believe in right now. It was going to be GME this afternoon, but I flipped the script on it and think at this point, let's just try to join the trend, at least until it pulls back into the aftermarket levels where you would have followed. Like, you know, when Sean and Dara were doing the show, it popped into 27, topped out at 27.5. I think when you get into that range, it's a more natural level to look for a bottom, but I'm giving this one to the quarters. Stop is in for sure. Celsius, Steady Street is saying to look at. I haven't looked at CLH today. I have no idea what I'm going to find when I get there. Not much of anything, although kind of strong. It's a squeeze type name. If this had volume, I'd be all for this. But it doesn't have a lot of volume or really much of a catalyst. But it's still, at least it's holding higher lows, and it's got some juice behind it when it does go. I believe it's still a pretty decent short flow on Celsius. Let me just double check.
Probably.
Yeah, 23% short float. But look at the action. Since I pulled it up, I just saw it do the first set of prints, and that took a couple of seconds. That's a problem. It looks great for a 35 breakout. Like maybe you'd nibble into a 35 breakout, but what's the reason why it's going to go? Also, what happened to this in the middle of the day? That I'm curious about. What happened at 1 o'clock on Celsius? Because that's a real candle. I like the setup. I don't know the reason why it's going to start doing something. That's the problem with Celsius for me. I'm going to check to see what happened at 1 o'clock. Maybe. Okay, well, Adara says nothing. Doesn't look like nothing.
The Nasdaq is having
It's a huge.
Does it look
volume.
like there's something there? Do something? The Nasdaq's having a problem here. It's not going anywhere since we've been in. So I'm actually, like right now, I'm thinking about just getting, like it just touched 97 again. Like I was thinking about taking like a 4-penny hit. And then if it breaks back above 63s, then we just go long on that. And we don't have to worry about it because it's definitely not breaking. But I mean, our stop is only like 10 more cents or so. So it's not really the end of the world. It's just if you are in a risk adverse sort of spot right now, it's definitely like right here on the Nasdaq. It's kind of like barcoding, and if anything, it's underneath. Like the short would still be here. It's not like anything's changing in this. So you either pick the bottom or you haven't, and it looks like we may have not. So you could wait until this 20,070 breaks, which is that area right there, and then go long. Instead, we chose to try to catch this falling knife, which right now does not appear to be working. So 62.80, 62.87. It looks like it's fine. Like we're out of the money 10 cents. I don't want to complain too much about it. It's we only have, like I said, about 2 to 3 units. So we'll just wait to see if this wants to work. But we are getting that little bit. Like I'm long because I'm wondering if this is the bottom heading into power hour. But since we've been long, I would have liked to have seen this at least go, and it's not doing anything. So we're able to get a little bit out initially off of 63, but for right now, everything else seems to be just clocked out. So there has to be something else that's coming in at some point, and we need some news. So like otherwise, the future is just going to do this. They're going to hang around. If it pops, hopefully we're still in it. But right now, it's not doing a whole heck of a lot. So for me, this futures position, it's the biggest position I've had all day as far as this TQs are concerned. So we'll just wait for it and see if it will go. Like, again, we had some shares up here, which is fine. That was a nice move. But right now, we started building this position. So let's give it a little bit of a shakeout. But I don't know if it's going to shake out in our way. So I am offering some at 63.09. In case we get that bump, then let's take some out because our last fill is down here at 62.90s. So that was our last fill area. So if we can get 20 cents from that, then yippee-ki-yay, we'll see what happens.
Yippee-ki-yay, can't say the rest.
No.
ETH just broke 2,000 like a minute ago. So like the bleed, I mean, it's like I said, it's an everywhere type of bleed, at least for now. You might find, let me just fix the scaling for you. There you go. You might find something of support at like 19.8, or you're already just another channel down. You sort of expect like the next little bit of a gap from 2,000, the next bit is going to get filled in rather quickly. It's just tremendous. Whoops, I just opened the ad. That's what it was.
Okay.
Whatever, yeah, I'm not going to watch. You can't get me to watch that ad. So ETH breaking down. We could trade it, but I don't usually. I'm just sort of glad that we got away from IBIT. But with that happening, IBIT underneath and into that gap, breaking 49s here. We're at 86.2, and if there's a chance we could accelerate, I'm thinking maybe get into this short and at least give it back to the prior high, like support to resistance. So when I saw that, maybe we'll have a nice opportunity there. Ben Works is saying Mimi, new volume, and price action. I'm assuming that's a small cap, because if I've never heard of it, then usually that's what it is. I'm just going to get an offer and a stop. Or what I didn't reverse this position. It's just now I'm like, well, if I can get what would have been the reverse, I might go ahead and do that. So what is MIMI? It is a stock doing 600,000 shares, hard pass. I'm not going to try and get into that. If you're trading something that's a small capper, like when I brought up that PTPI, the penny stock, here's what here's at least what you're looking for if you're trading this. It's a 17-cent stock. It has 1.3 billion shares of volume, today. It has a range of doubling since the lows. Even this local range is 10%. So like you can trade, like this is actually a tradable penny stock or small cap stock. This PTPI, 100%. There's enough volume to be able to play around with it, and it's going to make some moves. And it's liquid enough. You can get in, you can get out. You get stopped, you're going to actually get filled on that. Whatever that meme is, you get stopped, you might get filled, you might get slipped. So I'd rather see this pick up volume and try to get into it or something like this. You just got to watch out, everybody. I mean, you're not seeing a lot of things moving outside of this general malaise downtrend that we're in to try to find something that is moving. So when it was pointed out to me, because I didn't actually see ETH break 2,000, I'm going to see if I can't pick up this reverse in Bitcoin underneath 86.5 or 49.10, whichever one you want to call it. I'm looking at IBIT, so I'll call it the 49.10. So pop up, going to short into the pop, and give it to that prior high, and just try to join it. I mean, Power Hour has started. It has been ugly so far today. Hopefully the volume starts to pick up a little bit here. Like I'm seeing IBIT on that break. It started to pick up. Obviously, ETH started to pick up on volume as well. Tony, slip the jab. I'm a boxing fan. Don't mind doing that. Although I was looking at the Profit X, and it wasn't that sexy MMA stuff.
It got me surprised that the draft was tomorrow. I was
NFL draft is tomorrow, baby.
Yeah, we'll have to. Okay.
Shedeur Sanders is not going to. Anyways,
your boy Shedeur Sanders.
No, he's going to go in the first. I was going to make a joke about not going.
Okay.
He is going to go in the first.
Yeah, I think he's going to as well. All right. All right. We got some 05s. Sorry, 04s. All right. I took out 10% at 04. I don't. Like, we were starting to feel some kind of ways, and we were almost stopped out of this trade, right? I mean, we talked about where we were getting stopped out, so the fact that it just went back up, we take out a small piece. Like, I'm getting exhausted. Like, okay, come on, Nvidia, let's go. Maybe this is the one that'll just bring us to the promised land right there. So the craziest part about all of this is that, we could have reloaded everything down here. It's just like, didn't really believe in this move. So the fact that I didn't reload it should pretty much tell me that I need to be getting out when this is, so there it is. So when this is starting to pop upside. So we'll take advantage of getting out of Nvidia and see if we can get out of a little bit more. And then honestly, see if we can get this out as well on the TQs. So let's go, man. We're still sitting here at 63.09. That would be a good fill. And then if we can get that, then good. But that's what we'll have to wait for at this point. Let's try to be a little more patient than we have been with this trade. So here we go. We just got Nvidia again. So that's a nice move. Now 50 cents on Nvidia. Obviously wish we had a little bit more at that bottom. Come on, TQs, right there. There, give me those 09s. This is a big fill for me if we get it. Yes, bang. All right, we needed that one big time right there on the TQQs. About being red on the day, we'll talk about that when we get back from Neil. Let's go.
If you want top tier odds and total control, Profit X brings you peer-to-peer picking with open API access for automation, cost-efficient trading on your bets. That's unique, everybody, and it's all in one place. It is like day trading your favorite sports. You make offers, you match plays, you manage risk with diversified prediction options. Don't just place picks. Trade and exchange them. Profit X is a smarter and faster way to play. And you can use the code TRADERTV to get the sign-up offer of 2% cash back up to $300. Just to give it an idea for everybody of how it works here, we talk about there being liquidity and bids and ask in the markets. It's a similar thing here with Profit X. Look, I'm going to the game tomorrow, so I'll probably throw something on here on the Jays. You won't see a ton of open interest because the game is tomorrow, but you can see the current amount available. I mean, obviously, I'd be more interested in taking the Blue Jays. I don't care about the over-under. But you can see like $7 here, 217s available. You're going to see probably more interest in things like NBA games. Like there's a ton on the Lakers, right? Like if you like minus 108, you're seeing like, 5,200 out there that you can take. And you can make markets, which is what's really cool about this is if you put it, by the way, the draft is a month tomorrow, not tomorrow. But we were looking at some of these early. There won't be many odds, but what we love about it is you can take the no on who will go number one. Like not just, okay, I think this person will go number one. I think this person will not go number one. I think Shader will not go in the first round. You're not going to have a ton of liquidity until you actually get closer, but the cool thing about it is you can sit outside of the current book. Like, people are hoping to get picked up outside of the book with offers on Ward, who's going to go number 1. He is going to go number 1. That's just my 2 cents. But yeah, shout out to ProfitX. I think for a lot of people, if you're a trader, it's going to be relatively intuitive for you. That whole bid-ask aspect of ProfitX. And I hope to be able, maybe tomorrow we'll put something on the Blue Jays because I'm going to be at the game. Actually, Obi's going to be filling in because I'm going to the opener tomorrow. So I'm at a GameStop. It did not hold. First short of the day on GME after only being long. We'll slap the fail on it. Maybe it wants to go, but my eyeballs, well, you know what, hold on a second. We're popping up. I just looked up and I'm on the offer of this me. It's only 3 o'clock, so I don't, and this is a Nasdaq stock. So even though I said this is a potential imbalance, this is not one of those where there's going to be an early look. I'm not going to know if it's a sell imbalance until 350 on this stock. So I have no clue. And there's not going to be any indication whether it's going well or not, except for the fact that it happens to be trending down. You know, it was a flat bottom break. And again, this is, for some traders, like if you're at like Real Trading or, you know, you have access to those closing prints, it's just one of those types of trades in this particular stock. That's all. So I just want to make sure that was clear. I do have offers. When the market started to come up, I wanted to make sure that we're locked and ready. Amazon just got to 200. So it was $200, 200 period moving average right now. So I know earlier there was some chatter, Amazon's trying to catch the bid. Well, now it's at that support level. There isn't even that much size, and I don't think size is going to matter on the bid today when it's done 22 million shares. There's about 100K on the bid. It'll have no trouble chewing through that. So I want either mean reversions or bottoming tail candle. If it puts a bottoming tail candle through 200 or breaks this trend down, then I will take a shot in the long, in and out. So Amazon, we waited for it. Like if you tried it earlier, it was at 201. Wait for it to get down there. If it's trending down, it's probably going to get to your price. That's the way I like to think about it in a market like this. And Amazon at 200 at the 200 period, it's about to break the level. I'm not sitting at 01s. I'm looking for a break of the low, hold of the low, jump back up, and then get in.
We got out of some Nvidia, real nice like, and then this is why we were super excited about getting that 09. Like, again, like sometimes just we sit at these prices and it's like, boom, it goes as high as 14s, but there it comes, look at that, coming right back in. So we only have 2/3 left. We got out of a third. We talked about that was a decent size order because we were like, definitely thinking about even getting out of this trade. So we'll sit in this one. We're now long at 96s, but again, it's just a matter of, because we were able to clear that out, like that was that price that we took initially. So here it comes right back in. Looks like it wants to get faded one more time. What up, eh?
It's worth noting this isn't going to be market moving as of yet, but I think it's important to note we do have a report from Bloomberg saying that Discord is going to be working with Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan on its IPO. We don't have a date for this IPO. This is just speculation. It's just a report here from Bloomberg. But apparently, Discord will be working with Goldman and JP Morgan on this IPO. So keep an eye out for the IPO. If I have any information on that timing, of course, I will let you guys know. It's also worth noting, I'm seeing a report here. Apparently, Donald Trump has cut 10% of a chip curb agency, 10% of their funding, which has caused some alarm in the Senate. It seems like more of a political story than anything else, but worth noting here, has to do with chips. Apparently, Trump has cut 10% of the funding for an agency with regards to these chip curbs. So keep an eye on the market, keep an eye on chips, and be aware we're supposed to get comments from Donald Trump starting now at the White House's Women's Month event. I have not seen any comments from him yet, nor have I seen the stream begin, but I'll keep an eye on everything there. Back to you.
I feel like now is not the time that you want to be coming out with an IPO, but that's up to them. I think it's worth watching Reddit on that day.
Very strange.
It is a weird decision. Like, you wait all this time, and then you come out when the market is turning around to the downside. I don't know. We're excited for the Discord IPO, and I'm not going to change how I trade it if and when it does come out recently. So there was the over-under happen on Amazon. Did get in early. Like, it broke, but it didn't really break. And I got in, and then it made a fresh low. But then it really, there you go. I had to change to a 1-minute chart so you can see better. Then it broke the low for real and got back in on the way back to the upside. You still have the trend top to contain with at 20.5, or 200.5, I should say. So we're going to make sure we break that trend and get out in front of the trend line if it's going to bounce. So stop is at the low of the day on Amazon. I feel like the day that Discord comes out could be a bit of maybe a local top wherever Reddit happens to be if we're still having a bounce in the markets. And look, I know what I'm doing on that day. Like, I'll probably take a shot at Discord on the long that day. There's no question. Like, they're huge. It's the most anticipated IPO this year that I'm aware of. There was a couple of other ones, but Discord was the one that we're all excited about. So, you know the drill. They support the bid. The underwriter supports the bid. On the even, you go long. If it holds a level, you take that win, and I trade it for like 5-10 minutes. If it goes all day, you hold it. Usually they don't, and you're in and out pretty quick. But you know, that's a trade for another time.
It's amazing that after all of this, we're still going to be positive here on the TQQs, but I mean, it still is holding on by the skin of its teeth. Talked about that saying before. Holding on by the skin of your teeth. Is that right? Or the skin of my back? Or I don't know. What is
No,
that?
skin of your teeth is correct.
Yeah, right. But it's an old Jewish saying or something? I don't know. We talked about this in the chat before. I don't know. Someone
Did we?
would probably.
I don't know that.
If Sharif was here, he would chat GPT it and we could find out. But I guess I could do that.
Well, the saying is right.
As well for the saying. I know that, yeah. Where it comes from, though.
Where it comes from.
All right. So. Yeah, right, the cut of your jib. Yes, exactly. That's not one that I use, but that is a good one. Thanks, Fabian, for that one. Yeah, so there it is. We'll get some more. Give me those 94s. Actually, we're at 97. We just got some 94s. Our next order is at 97 right now as we're long 82s now. We are just bought the dips, man. We've just been trying to buy, supporting. I mean, again, almost stopped out on that Discord news. Like, all right, we'll just figure that out. So that's what we're going long on right now, the market, and holding out for highs. Not. That was just a joke. Not that funny. We're not going to get back to highs. But okay, so imagine we did. Imagine somehow the market, just like there's some sort of news, jokes, tariffs off, and the market goes green.
I've changed my mind. I don't like tariffs anymore.
Wouldn't be surprised. All right, so I mean,
that's what it was.
I would be surprised, but that kind of, you know.
We're joking, obviously.
Yeah, we're joking.
No, but someone.
I mean, we
said in the chat
but
someone said back in the day, like sometimes you guys will say things which is obviously in jest to you, but it's not always as obvious. So I've tried.
No, I'm not joking about if he launched no tariffs, this market would go green right now.
Yeah.
Like within the next 20 minutes. But I don't.
Zero.
That's not. Yeah, that's why that part I'm just playing around with. I don't think we're getting that announcement. But I was just going to look at Reddit because we had talked about Discord coming out, and then my mind immediately goes to like another kind of social media name. Now I know Reddit and Discord are not the same, so I don't need to be harassed about making them exactly equal comments. What I was trying to get at was this came with a lot of hype as well. This was back in March last year. So right now, this week last year actually was Reddit. So happy birthday to you. What a great year it was for Reddit. Was a better year to date, and then January hit, and then the market fell off. That's actually February. But at the end of the day, Reddit, and forget it, it is still up nicely, man. Last year, if you bought Reddit on its IPO, you would have been real happy because that was roughly $48, $49, and we went up to $230. No one sells at the very top, I don't think, but if you did, congratulations. But even if you are still in Reddit, you are still more than doubled your position. So more than 100% gain in Reddit in 1 year. So, and that is absorbing a haircut of half. So 230, right down into 115 again, and maybe back upside as we wait to see what's going to happen with Discord. But that's Reddit's story. So again, I'll probably buy some Discord, and depending on when it does come to market, what the environment is like I'll definitely be buying it. It was the number one thing. My kid, when he was here 3 years ago, he was like, I asked him what the number one stock was. He said Microsoft, and I asked him why. He said because they're going to buy Discord. He was only 10 or something years old, but that was the rumor that he had heard. So right now, I'll just watch out for that. 100 to 103 and change, 105. We'll wait to see on Reddit. That looks like a good bottom, but yeah, I like Discord down there, and I think that just goes to show you that I don't know who's going to underwrite it. Dara might have said that story, but Goldman downside today. We've seen some.
I thought she said Goldman.
Oh, was it Goldman?
Was it Goldman? Goldman and
Yeah, and JP Marlboro's here. If you go smoke a pack of them, because right now might be stressful times right now in the banking sector, as some of these names have gotten hit pretty good off the tops. I mean, we did buy JP Morgan one time, and we're looking to get out. I mean, it came up to the 50-period moving average. If it gets anywhere near there, I will be probably getting out of a quarter. Not probably, will get out of a quarter. The probably was the percentage. And then we'll see if it can get back there to the upside. By the skin of our teeth right now, I don't know if anyone looked it up, but that right now TQs is just holding on, guys. So like some of those last couple outs, we just did them as we were talking. Let's see if we can get that 94 again. That might be the ultimate high. So we'll go 93s and see if we can get something out there as we wait for 93s, 97s, and then higher. But
let's not imagine that.
The skin on your teeth.
Yeah, if that was literal, that would not be good. You mentioned IPOs. I had to look at Kava.
Oh, there's 93s. We got it.
Kava looks interesting.
Oh, yeah,
it's been
Kava.
dipping.
That was the other name.
I pulled up here, I'll just show you guys because I have it. I mean, I have it open right now. Let me full screen this. It's a little better. Yeah, I'm like, wow. The PE is 82. The forward's 158. Mm-hmm. I mean, that got a little. Yeah, that's not as interesting because I thought of like, okay, what's a name that everyone loves?
Womp womp.
Say the food is fantastic. I've never eaten it, but I couldn't tell you. And it was a great IPO. It could have way more room to go. I'm shocked that it's that expensive. I know it's probably always traded. These things trade at premiums all the time. If you worry too much about sometimes these big runners in the space. Chipotle would be a great example of that, what their PE is, then you miss a lot of the move. But this feels like it could have another leg to go. And if it does retrace it all the way, there's going to be a spot. There's going to be a spot for this. But I just need to see a quarter or something. 158 is insane on the forward. I want to see it the other way around. I want to see that forward PE be better than the current. They're going in the other direction, which could be a bit of a sign. I mean, we talk about the consumer and all that stuff. So you're going to potentially break trend on Amazon, which is going to make this twofold. If it closes above, there's two trades. If it closes above the trend line, then to me that turns into an add, and then throw the stop where I would for the trend break trade instead of just the fresh low underneath 200, which you have to look at the candle wick because my thing's saying 194, which it obviously didn't get to. My stop is underneath like 199.80 currently. But if we break this trend line, I'm going to add to it and then throw it to the prior bar bottom, which would be the 200 level. Currently trying to add at 200, but that'll change if we do break this trend here on Amazon. It's only about 25 pennies in the money, but looking for that spot to break trend and add to the top. Palantir apparently is going. XDOMI, Intel is done. Doesn't surprise me for sure at this point. Not looking good. Farm Trader, OSRH is going again. That's worth having a look.
Osiris.
That was the one that was on the watch list this morning.
Go.
That was on the watch list. Oh, yeah. Amazon's breaking trend line. Going to look for a close above 20.5, and then we're going to add to this position. I don't know if we can get VWAP because that's like $2.50 away to VWAP, but if we can press into 201.5, that'll be plenty good enough. But we're in a power hour. Let's see if this relief rally can get some more juice to it because we're above that 20,000. It shouldn't take much to give us like a reasonable bounce, like 201.5. That's where I want.
Did you like that, Fabian?
What was that?
No, I was saying because we did it, guys. There it is, man. The Q's now finally starting to go back there to the upside as we went like bump, 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 bump. Because there we go. Thank you, Fabian. As again, there it is, man. We talked about it. There we go. Oh wow. All right. I only have a third left. Whew, that was tight right there. Escaped by the skin of our teeth. Thank you to Obi for this one. It is a biblical reference right there. So meaning implies surviving or succeeding by the thinnest, most improbable of margins.
But look, where was
Book
it
of
used?
Job. My bone cleaveth to my skin and to my flesh, and I am escaped with the skin of my teeth. So that's what it is. In this context, Job is describing how close he came to death. He had lost everything,
Yes.
so which I pretty much did today, and was physically deteriorating. Anyways, skin of the teeth meant poetic or metaphorical way to express an extremely narrow escape.
Bible study was at my house once a week, and I didn't know that one.
Yeah, next time pay attention a little bit. No, I'm just joking. I have no idea. All right, so there it is. Yeah, shout out. Well, what, you don't know every single passage from the Bible? What the hell's wrong with you?
There's some I know some people that kind of do.
Well, yeah, you should know a lot.
I have
of
an
people.
aunt who's like,
yeah, I know. There's
it's like,
lots of,
what? Like, jam.
And I'm just like, say what? Because obviously, the book of Job was talking about trading. And, what he was talking about was barely getting by on these trades. So there it goes, man. We talked about it. Neil, guess what's now the #1 stock right now? We've got Nvidia, but it's not that. It is the TQs because there we go. It's a huge move now to the upside, man. Hopefully you guys are here. You've talked about trading futures. We're on this name. Big short, big longs. There it goes, man. Top of the day short, bottom of the day long. I'm not, it's 320. We're as happy as a pig in something else as we just keep on dropping these lines. But yeah, we're happy. And there it goes, man. Straight up to the upside. Let's go. Highest spot we've been at all day. It's happening right here. This is trading. We sat there. We built our positions. We like it. And there it goes, man. This is what we're here for. Like I said, if not me, then who? And the reason why I say that is if I don't put on the trades, then I can't make the money. And that's the same thing with all of us. If you don't listen to some of your calls, then, like if I looked over and Neil was long Qs or long Nvidia or something like that, I'd be like, what the hell? Because we had thought the same way. So we have to hold out for trades that we like. As you can see, we're in completely different trades, right? So this is the thing. Stay with what you're doing, and we are very, very happy to be in these trades. I'm going to exit a little bit more, though, because, again, we don't need to get too overconfident. It's a nice move back to the upside, and I'm sorry for celebrating, but there it goes. It's a nice move, man. 70 cents in on Nvidia and 30 to 40 handles on the TQs when I thought we were like roasted. So we're happy with that one. There it goes, man. It was a good one. Nice upside move for the TQs. Lunch was like, what, a chicken breast? Someone asked about it. Oh, okay. Yeah, the chicken breast is always what it is. I've asked for the tuna. We had the chicken salad, then we had the egg salad, hoping for tuna at one point here. And if we get that, then I think we'd be happy with it. Egg salad. You got egg and chicken salad.
I'm very close to, I'm giving it one more week, and then I'm going to get on the main lunch.
Yeah, the main lunch today, we already read it. I didn't see it, but we do. Wow, come on, Nvidia.
Right now, so I was trying to add to Amazon. I'm not
fucking TQs.
I didn't get the ad on Amazon. Like it might be in the money, 70 pennies, but it broke trend, and I didn't get the break of the trend line because it kind of gapped up, and I tried to get pulled back into 2040. Because it broke trend, I did move the stop to the prior bar low. It was at 200, and now it's going to be 220. So we'll see if we get the ad, pull back into the trend line, and then we'll go add to that one to the long side, and we'll see if it goes. But there's still plenty of time. There's still 30 minutes to go till the imbalances. Obviously plenty of time till the close. So we'll see what can happen here. The market is trying to make that run. I still feel like when you have, like for Amazon, when you have $6 on the range in the day, and even just since we came on here, essentially like $1.50, retracement to at least pull back into these highs, like the opening range bottom, which is the afternoon pivot at like 201.60. So I want to be adding to it on that break, but I did miss that trade. That 23andMe is going to just continue to bleed down. I don't think I'm going to get any more offers. And so what I'm going to do here is I still think it could come out as a sell and be a good short, but whether you trade this or not, because most of you probably wouldn't, I would never want to just be sitting on the offer if the imbalances came out the wrong way on a stock like this. Because if it's supposed to be a delete and it comes out a buy, it's going to pick me up and I'm going to get moked. So I'm not going to sit on the offer. We didn't get the ad at 56 when it broke down. I'm just going to hold it, see if it prints down and continues to flush. They're being deleted because they're going bankrupt. So it's as simple as that. If it comes out the wrong way, we took a shot at it. I'll scalp out on the way down, and let's see if we can get this ad on AMZN, because the market is looking good. Amazon holds a 200 period on the daily. What the heck, Amazon? Look at that wick. That's not real. There you go. Holds a 200 period on the daily. It's as good a place as any to get the bounce here on AMZN, but you had to wait for it to get to 200. Like you could have, we started looking at this at 201, and if you started there, you're not even break even yet.
All right. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well today. Coinbase, Bitcoin, 86. We saw some people wondering about if it was going to get to 85 by the Let's go. Just keep going, TQQs, man. I don't even want to look at you anymore. Let's see how high we can get here into the close. We may come all the way back. We only have 20% left of the Qs. That was like, happy. All right. What's up, Randy? Yeah, this guy's loving XOM, of course. Yeah, well, we can do that here. Just looking IBIT, nice bounce into 48 bucks. Okay, XOM. This guy wants to look at this. Well, you want the monthly chart? Okay, hold on a second. So this is, wow, XOM. Yeah, nice day today. Yeah, really nice day. Up 1.5%. You want the monthly? Okay. This is going to show me that what we all should have bought at 100 bucks. Okay, so yeah, nice little dip down. Yeah, so there's the hold there at 105. You know, you did get a nice move down into 95, but that was a while ago. This is a monthly chart. That's 2003. So we haven't really dipped below 105, Randy, since when was this? Yeah, the last year at this time, March. So last year, March, we were down here, made a move up to 124 and back down. So it looks like just on the equity, like you'd get about 15%, which is fine. Yeah, it's underperforming the market, not this year, but over those years. But right now, man, you know, to diversify, grab that 3 or 4%, you collect the dividend no matter what. And it does look like, yeah, so there you go, man. Just zooming back in or zooming out to a monthly chart. Nice level there, Randy. 100 bucks to 105. So you're going to go long soon at the top? Nah. Don't do that, my guy.
105.
You might as well wait well, yeah, 105. Good luck with that.
You liked 105.
Yeah, he definitely likes. I mean, look, when we look at charts and we say, why didn't we do something, right? So it's about doing that. So hopefully next time, as Randy had mentioned, 1022 was his price there for Rivian, and it's just it's so annoying when it misses by like 30 or 40 cents. So like it's like imagine it comes back into 105 and you're waiting for like 105, 20s, and it comes like 105 40s.
I did that with ARM.
That happens all the time.
At after the IPO on ARM. And I'll never forgive myself for doing it because I wanted to get into ARM early. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to throw this little stink bit in here. And I missed it by like a small fraction. And when that happens, the first thing I should have done, it was a long-term play. First things first, trend in, trend out. Amazon just had a steady push up. Can we come to the chart? Just a quick second here. Go right into this flat bottom, immediately topping tail wick into it. And never presented with an obvious ad. And then topping tail wick into 201, and then broke a very slight trend line. So we end up scalping him, but we didn't get an ad as it was breaking out here anyway. So I'm just gonna get in, get out. Anyways, the story told on ARM is just, if you're trying to buy something for the long term, don't split hairs, man. If you like it, get into the silly stock. Don't let this happen to you. And then when it pulled back, I remember when this happened and it broke 125 and it headed down, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy it in front of this breakout price, which was $79. And I remember stink bidding like, I don't know, probably like 80.42 or some silly number or something like that. It went down to 85 and I didn't get filled that day. But look what happened. The next day, it opens at $89. What's the good reason not to just get in that day for the long term? Yeah. Who the heck cares? Pardon me. Who the heck cares in the long sense? Like, you're looking for the dip back into that prior range. Just get in. It was so silly because, I never ended up, and I still am not in what I consider to be a full position in ARM. And, I did eventually buy some because sometimes you get lucky and it came back to the 200 period. Going back to August. When everything was making those lows in August, it came back for me, but maybe it never gets there again, and then you miss your shot. Let's go to the desk with it, Adair.
It's worth noting here, we have now had the stream start, but President Trump has not yet taken the podium for his Women's History Month event. I guess, presentation or speech. So that's going to be on watch. It's worth noting here, too, initially how the scheduling went, according to Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, was Donald Trump was going to speak at this Women's History Month event at 3 p.m. Then he would have a press conference at 4 p.m. where she said he's going to be mentioning some auto tariffs. Now that this event is later, we'll have to wait and see how this impacts the 4 p.m. tariff announcement because we're getting pretty tight there for the scheduling. But regardless, it'll be on watch. I will let you guys know he's not yet taken the podium, nor has the stream properly begun beyond just a screen saying they're going to begin shortly. So I will keep you all posted with updates on that. Back to you.
Thank you, Dara. It's not the kind of thing where you'd expect to see any headlines that should move us here in the last 30 minutes, but you never know.
We'll do a shout out to all of our OGs here, and we'll say, I am very bullish on Trump speaking. I think when he comes on, it'll be a bullish movement, and we say that because of a shout out to our good friend Valeria. Right there, she was go, Tesla's reaping and we are bullish on it. So shout out to Miss V, chilling in good old Ukraine. All right, so TQs, you know, we got more out. Like I said, we are, even when we had said that we only had a third left, we just got another piece right there at 15. So, you know, good. Sorry, 20% left. We just got another piece out. We're into 20% left now. That's what we have left now. So I don't know what I said before, but we have 20% left, and we just took a piece out right there. So we'll see if it falls back. And if it does, it does. We will not even be close to turning red on this thing, as the TQs will still hold fort as P&L number one. Nvidia, actually, no. Well, we'll wait. Nvidia's right here right now as well. So there's a good out. The market just dropped in there again. Like, this is just unfortunately what we have to deal with in this market. So yeah, it's just deal with it. You know, that's why we did that little heart thing. It's like, you just got to sit in your trade, basically hope it works out, have your stop orders, make sure that you are like a 1-to-1, or you're at least doing something. We'll get out of 3 or 4% of the Qs if it comes, there it goes. If it comes back up, and it just did, we just got 98s right there at the 50 period moving average. So another 2.5% out. That's what I'm going to do. Like, I'm trying to do 10% outs if it's ripping for me, and then like 2.5 to 5% out as we go. So just of what we have left, right? And so we'll see if we can get back there to the upside. And this is the thing. We always talk about trading different share sizes and stuff. Like, I'm just piecing it out. Like, there's one strategy of maybe where I think that if I took way less shares and then just like actually held out for key levels, could make the same amount of money, because when you lose, then I'm only losing on small, and then when I win, hopefully I'm winning a little bit bigger on that trade. But, you know, at the end of the day, we'll be happy with this battle back. Nvidia battled back nicely for us there. Positive on Nvidia, positive on the Qs there, and AMD. So these are the stuff. Oh, wait a minute. AMD is supposed to be coming out soon. What was that price? 109.76. Okay, so, you know, now that we revisited this, you know, we normally get out on the 200 period break. It's breaking it for the very, very first time right now. But we'll just sort of ramp it up and give it to this level right there, 109.70. So we'll give it 25 more cents. I mean, on a day like today, that makes a lot of sense for me. Someone said, what about Google? I mean,
before we go.
Oh, yeah.
Look, the market is not breaking the lows. Nvidia is not breaking the lows. I mean, even Amazon pulled back, but it's not breaking the lows. Tesla just broke the low and is now down to 7%. I'm suddenly put to an interesting question for myself, at least. Am I just going to buy back into Tesla at 220, what we bought before? Because I'm telling you, it might get there. It's relatively weak today. Whoops, I thought I hit enter. There you go. I just broke the low of the day again on Tesla. It's looking textbook. Like, why wouldn't you at least get back into 250? I feel like tomorrow morning we're going to be eyeballing this gap fill on TSLA for sure. I couldn't help myself. I put a little bit of our profit bucks on the Jays tomorrow. There wasn't a lot of liquidity. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're at home. Whatever. I like our pitcher better than theirs. We'll see. But Tesla continuing to break to the downside, and my gut's telling me I don't want to reload this because it's still out of favor. I'm very certain that there's almost no chance I won't like the 165 to 180 level on Tesla. I'm just talking about the long term. We're not going to get to those prices today, and if we did, you'd have other problems to be had. But it's just about, you know, trying to decide what to do in some of those long terms. Like, you take those shots. And I took some profit out. I didn't sell it all. Like, I sold a third of what I bought recently, and I still hold a long-term position in Tesla. But I feel like if it makes another test of 220, I don't know if I want to buy the same level again in a downtrend. It's one thing if it's flat on the stock buying the same level, but in a downtrend, I think you'll wait for a lower low, or at least wait another quarter, minimum wait another quarter and see another earnings report for them. Right? You're going to hold on to the trend line in Amazon, so I think we can try to jump back in here. You guys can see the bottoming tail wick. Try to get it maybe at 50s and give to that prior low as it's held on to trend, even if the 200 play got a little bit of a reversion in it. Still early, 333. There's nothing on the early look, and that's not going to be reflected on any of the Nasdaq names anyways, because it's all New York. And even Ford, which has been 8 million every single day, is only 1.7 right now. So CNQ, HPE, TD is a sell of 1.9. Oh, I sold some TD because I wanted to raise some cash, and I decided, because I own 2 Canadian banks. Whoops, I just did it we'll do it for you guys. I own 2 Canadian banks in my personal account, and one of them has done better than the other, so I'm going to keep that one. Sold some TD Bank at some local highs because I want to be dollar cost averaging into a couple of things this year, and one of them is actually XLF. I'm like, okay, well, if XLF dips again, I want to buy it, so where am I selling? Well, TD's been a laggard, so let's just take some out here. If it goes up higher, I did it in Canada, so it wasn't at these prices. If it goes up higher to the 52-week top, then I'm going to get some out. And I'm going to buy some XLF on dips because I like XLF this year. I like XLF. That's doing well. IBM's holding up as well, which I like this year. Not so much GE Vernova. I can say that right. So we're back in Amazon. If it breaks this wick bottom, I'm out. Simple as that.
Yep, yeah, we'll try to get Amazon going as well. Yeah, Tesla. Yeah, I mean the sales are bad. That's why we're talking about waiting to see what those numbers come out.
Yeah, let it improve.
And do look like, right? I mean, you never know what is going to be around the corner. Although I think for Tesla, worse. I would say don't hold that stock if you think sales are going to beat, because I don't think they are. It's obviously a longer term story. Let's just wait to see what at this point, anyways. Let's just see what's going on with Coinbase. Down 5%. We talked a little bit about crypto. I don't think crypto's down 5%, right? But Coinbase definitely is, as the equity getting hit right down there into 191 and change. So right there, 191, 192 coming into play there for Coinbase. As you look, that bottom, I mean, that might be coming back again right there for Coinbase. We talked about maybe dip buying something in this name as well, but that has a lot to go before you get excited about Coinbase. Again, another name for ARK and whatnot that they're buying this name up all the time. Kathy Wood. Who's the one doing it, me? Okay, all right, so we'll do that in a couple seconds. You let me know. I just heard for the call for Adara. I'm hoping it's something positive because right now we're just sitting in the same trades, man. We've got the TQs, we've got Nvidia, both Nvidia 60 cents in the money, TQs 25 cents in the money, and then AMD $6. But we're light on AMD and our stop is about to hit 20 cents from now. I just want this market to rip, man. Start ripping faces off, and we'll get back up to the upside at some point here today. So we'll wait to see. Looking at the Qs, trying to get something out here at the 200 period moving average. You want to do this first or Adara? All right, let's do this. E-Signal, I see it on the screen right now. Thanks, Fabian. So we want you to make sure that you do scan that QR code right there. Trade smarter, not harder. We talk about this all the time. My eyes are always going everywhere, and it's because we're looking at scanners. The App Store is huge, as you can see there, over 50 plus brokers. So no matter who you trade with, you can connect to E-Signal with your platform, most likely. There it is right there. Scan the QR code. It's first month free. So if you're watching us, you're not going to find that anywhere else for E-Signal, period, if you do send me the link, because it doesn't exist. So first month free right now, only here at Trader TV Live. Again, we had the guys from ICE here. Thank you so much for that. So we built a relationship. We'll see what's going on. We use E-Signal here. I really enjoy the platform, the back testing, the accuracy of it all, and the fact that we can look at any market. Pretty much, I don't want to say any market, but I'm pretty sure it's any market there worldwide as it's entitlement based. So it's pay to play with E-Signal, but it's your first month free for the platform. Go check it out. You know, get E-Signal, get Nasdaq, get NYSE entitlements. Go play around with it and see if you do like it. It's the preferred charting software for Trader TV Live. All right, Adara's got something for us at this desk.
It is worth noting here, Donald Trump has taken the podium as of about 2 or 3 minutes ago. He's currently speaking. This event is not market related. It's a Women's History Month event, but in case there are any Q&As or comments about tariffs, it's on watch. Also on watch, though, is the event that was supposed to be at 4 p.m., now potentially later, because this event started a little bit late. But regardless, at 4 p.m., Donald Trump is supposed to have a press conference where he is expected to announce more tariffs, specifically in the auto space. So keep an eye on this potential tariff announcement and just be aware that he is speaking. Back to you.
Yeah, we already know there's going to be, or at least there's supposed to be, an exemption on some auto parts. You've seen some of those makers go to the upside. One of them was Magna. That's good for, I don't own it, but it's in my family. My family owns it. My wife owns it. So hopefully that'll continue to go. That's been a dog of a stock. I don't know why she's still in that one. Amazon broke that lower high. So we're out of Amazon. At this point, like, I'm just sort of sitting in me. So my net's not going anywhere because me is sort of slowly going down. And it just... There's a brick wall now, so I have one. If it breaks it, I'm not going to be bidding every cent. If it breaks the wall that's at this 53, I think it goes all the way down to almost 50, and we're running out of time. I don't think I'm going to get a chance to add on this unless it's after the imbalances, in theory, come out. So Amazon, maybe it gets down to the 200 level, which is where we picked it up the first time. That would be a spot to trade it next with only 10 minutes till the imbalances. Needs to happen soon. Either we get back to the 200 or we can show some higher lows and try to jump back into this one off a support level. Not much else going that I'm watching. I mean, Tesla is the biggest mover in terms of percentage. Well, it's not the biggest mover in percentage on the day. It's the biggest of the Mag 7 in terms of percentage. So it's the biggest of the big names. So that's what, if it's not me, which I'm in, or Amazon, which I'm staring down at 200, then it's going to be Tesla. Because if we start reverting, when Tesla trends in the end of the day, you can get some craziness. So I want to have that up. Usually I'd have Nvidia, but I feel like Tesla, just a little bit more price action going into this 350 time. So those are 3 stocks I'm looking at. Either we get 200 again on Amazon, some kind of a reversion or imbalance coming out on Tesla, and I'm going to hold me into the potentially the print, depending on the direction of that imbalance. Let us know what else you guys are watching here. I see Paco saying TSLQ and AAPD. So yeah, so you're looking at Tesla. You're looking at some of those leveraged ETFs if you like trading those. We tend not to. Liquidity is just as good if you're talking Tesla and Apple normally.
Yeah, what's up, Monty G? There in the chat. I don't know what's so funny about that. We're going for it. We just spun and lost. Okay, so yeah, just that same talk, man. I didn't even realize the time. It's 3:40, so we're going to have to most likely get out by the skin of our teeth again on the TQs. We'll stop saying that. But we have the top of the day. We have the bottom of the day. It's just a matter of will it hold, and we've been getting out. So we don't need to ask that question too much anymore. This is what's on in balance for tonight so far. Neil just talked about TD Bank, but most of these names are always on here. So we'll just wait to see what winds up happening. Oracle with a small sell. Let's see if that's doing anything. I mean, obviously with the Nasdaq barcoding a little bit now as we've been watching the futures, Oracle doing something very, very similar. Wow, down 4% today. Again, that's a good level for Oracle, right? 140? Yeah, Oracle down. Wow, huge. Off 190 there, off Starship Link, whatever that thing was. That spiked it up there into 190. What a joke all these programs are, to be honest with you. But okay, so there we go. Just because
Starlink's great. Oh, no.
Whatever the Starship Trooper thing that Oracle is involved with there.
It's that the AI thing. I thought you meant actual Starlink.
No, not Starlink. So I'm sure Starlink works fine. Stargate's
what it's called.
Yeah.
They just steal from another science fiction.
Yeah,
thing.
there's just not enough information about all of this.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, okay.
I watched the movie.
I never watched that.
Fabian's like, Stargate's a good show. I watched the movie in the theater because I'm old.
Yeah.
But I never watched the show. That's with
okay.
I'm
watching One Piece.
Had MacGyver in it, didn't it?
I don't know. What is Stargate? Is that Star Wars? I don't know. No, it's Star Trek, right? Is that a firm?
No, what?
Not MacGyver. AMD just broke to the high. I'm saying is Stargate is like what, a spin-off of?
No, it's
its own thing completely.
What's the best way to explain it?
Yeah, it's
basically there's like a wormhole thing and they can go to other worlds and some soldiers go with some scientists.
Soldier boys in it.
And they go to like different worlds and anyways, I haven't seen the show. I watched
different worlds.
I have no idea if the show is any good. I had it was something else that I was going to say that was stock related, and then this just happened.
Yeah, it's okay. Right now, I'll handle some of the stock related things right now, and then you can think about what you're thinking about. So we'll just go like that because we just get a great print, guys. Great print. Honestly, right there on the TQs, we got right back to where we needed to get again, up into the 60s again. Right? Into the 60s, 63.25. So we get that, Phil. What I was looking at was Nvidia because that was one that went into the 60s that we missed up there. So I was actually not even here. So we got to go there now for Nvidia, put something out right here in the 50s, see if we get, there it is, we just got it. Then we'll go into the 70s there and just start to clean this up as we only have 7 minutes left to go. What did we just get there? We got something, didn't we? No, we didn't get anything. Okay.
I know what it was.
That thing that popped up at the AUZ?
There was one update. I said I was going to do something this week.
Oh, okay, go.
I did do it. I sold another third of Alibaba.
Okay.
It's like, anyways, it's down one. It's only down point, but I actually missed the sell on this a couple of days ago at the beginning of the week. I didn't see this break this little bit of a trend. And when I noticed it today, I was like, oh, that's right. I wanted to cover another third if it lost this. So I just kind of sold it. I don't remember at what price. I mean, I could double check. it's always like after 11
There it
o'clock.
is.
So it's probably like right around 133. So we're not out of all of it. I still hold some in the long term, but we are out of a bunch of that stock. I knew there was something that I didn't give an update on. Only 5 minutes to the imbalances. I probably don't get back into Amazon, so I'm either going to get more of me, get into Tesla on an imbalance. I'll have Nvidia up in case that does something as well. And yeah, we'll go for the ride here. It's one of those days, man. Like I only have like 3 of like 7. I traded a ton of bios today, but 3 of 7 stocks that are up. Thankfully, Tesla, the one shot in Tesla was really good. We'll see what happens with 23andMe. I'd like to be adding to that position. I just don't think right now it's showing any signs of doing something really big. Like the volume's coming into it, but a lot of times if it's going to be a big one, you'll see it moving around. So we tried to get it in here. Hopefully it would have popped. I've canceled my orders. I'm not adding to this unless the imbalance comes out the right way, as I said.
Yeah, tough day all around for sure. I hope that you guys have been enjoying the show. That is for sure. And like we just mentioned there, I've traded 4 names and we'll go 2 for 2 and 2. But, you know, just holding out to see what these TQs can do right there. The big L for me today was Palantir off the open. But we're making it back here with the TQs. So let's see if this can get going. I don't really have any more offers now. The 200 period, well, let me tell you, I'm at 63.37s. So we are just ahead of this 200 period. So if we can get up there, we almost got filled actually. That went to 32. So halfway back up, we'll get a third out of what we have left. So a bigger piece out right there if we can on the upside, and then that will end it. And then here we go. It is $1 right now on Nvidia. So far so good there today as we battle back. So there it goes, man. There it is. You're welcome, Bart, man. I mean, this happens a lot of the time. Do the Bart, man. What's up, Bart Simpson? Saved. So saved on the TQs. You're welcome. I hope a lot of you did wind up taking that position with me. And I think we did just a great job of talking about it. There it is, man. There's Nvidia. Boom. So I think we did a very, very good job since this TQQ trade, talking about it, buying the dips right there. So there we go, man. It's been a big one. It'll be P&L number 1 for me, despite almost it being the other way around as a big loser, but we absorb it. There it goes. Only a couple more minutes now, 4 minutes until the imbalances. But yeah, day saved, man. And that's exactly what we did right there. So thank you, Bart, and everybody else that's out there that was able to do that with me today. Take some of these into the close. Again, it was really just the Palantir trade. Other than that, everything is groovy, and we'll wait to see where we can go on that. We'll be down slightly on the day, but that we're a hell of a lot better than we were an hour ago. We made a lot of money back there on the TQs and on Nvidia. So yeah, man, good so far. And so far this month, I can double check. I'm not sure how many red days. It doesn't feel like a lot. So we're very, very happy with this one. We're down right now at the end of the day. We'll be down like what we make in the first 5 minutes normally every day. So, but today we lost it in the first 5 minutes. So that was one of the problems right there with Palantir. It actually didn't get nasty till 9:50 when the whole market completely fell on its face. So Charlie Taff, what's up, my guy? Yeah, today I just tweeted it out, and if you guys are following me on Twitter, which I hope you are, we're almost at 51,000 right now, and I don't. I actually timestamp all these, so you know all the talk that I'm doing here about buying this, buying that, selling this, selling that. You can go back and look, and I just put out right here. Just bought some more of the Qs. I say retirement accounts, our RSP account. It's just long-term account. I don't know. You know, for first time I've added since last year on the Qs. I've actually never bought the Qs. Mm-hmm. So
you do the SPY though.
Yeah, so I just right. So I did buy, and that's what I was talking about. I did buy the SPY a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I think, and that was my second time. So I bought one of the dips in the SPY, but this is the first time that I bought the Nasdaq right there. So my first real thing. I haven't bought any Nasdaq names this year. We did sell some Palantir and put that money into Tesla, but that's a net because we sold Palantir at the high, near the highs, and bought Tesla at 330. So that's not working out that way. But all right, only a minute and a half to go. So there you go, Charlie, man. I mean, we put that all up, so you can go find that on my account. But thank you for asking. And we want to buy some XBI, and I actually forgot about that. So maybe we'll do that tomorrow at some point. Let's get some more out. Just 50 handles in the money on this Nasdaq trade that saved your boy today, and I know it saved Bart Simpson. So do the Bart man, Adara.
Donald Trump just said here, quote, we're going to be making a big announcement on cars, then said we're going to be going through with the tariffs on cars. He has not announced the specificity of these tariffs, what they're going to impact, when they come into effect, or how much they are. That's supposed to come at a later date. Again, the press conference was supposed to happen at 4 p.m. But it is worth noting, Donald Trump saying we're going to be making comments on cars. So keep an eye on the market, keep an eye on automakers. About 50 seconds until the imbalances. Back to you.
50 seconds till imbalances, and we'll see. Well, a lot of times you'll get a reversion move at 55. So even if Tesla's a buy imbalance, I'd look for a reverse. If it's a sell imbalance, I'd look for the low of the day, maybe to give you some kind of a juice as well.
Here goes Nvidia, boy.
Yeah, the market's heading back. The market's actually screaming into this at 350, so I'll have the balances up. There's no good early looks on it. All of the names that are over 1 million shares are not names that anybody's going to trade. So we want to look to see if Nvidia, maybe Tesla, one of the big cap tech names is going to be large. For Nvidia, you probably need to see 3, 4, 5 million shares to be significant. For Tesla, I mean, anything over 1 million usually is pretty good on Tesla, and that'll be one to watch. So the market is heading higher. Glad we're not in Amazon because that's not going anymore. So I think it's a good thing we didn't get into this. It's now 350.
Wow, dude.
Don't see anything.
Oh, boy.
Apple 1.5 buy. Tesla 1.3 to the buy side. Nvidia 1.1 to the buy side. And it looks like it's going to be a net buy imbalance for sure. I don't see my name, so I might just jump out of it. If I don't sort for M and see it, then I'm just going to abort that trade.
I don't know. I mean, face slapper. We told you we're here to trade. So that's what we did. We had some good ideas. The money definitely comes in right there. We just got out of some Nvidia at the top of 114. So there goes Nvidia, man. And again, like just boom, 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 right up to the upside. Great trading there in the afternoon as the market really rallied back, man. And then now goes the TQs. There it goes. Like top to bottom, talk about NFT, like, you know, maybe GameStop should sell this one. That was a good one. Let's just wait to see if we could take this out. 63.75, give us that 100 handles right now to the upside. So yeah, we're pretty happy with the way trading has been going today. That is for sure. So there we go, man. Let's just keep on going. We'll see what's going on now. TQs just continue to climb. Market continues to climb. Palantir, let's have a quick look. Not doing anything. So good thing we didn't look at that. We've got the big ones, man. We've got the futures and Nvidia. Who next? Tesla is moving upside as well. We had a crazy move yesterday into the close for Tesla, but oh boy, man, today, there it goes. We'll finish the day at the highest spot that we've been at all day. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, because I'm doing this every single day. So come back tomorrow, see us all again, and have some fun. We're ready to rock and roll. Neil's going to be doing the recap show, but we are on one right now into the close. Just thank you so much, man. We were going ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum over and over again, and there it goes, man. The TQ's now 75 damn handles now in the money on this one as we just continue to climb higher and higher and higher. Oh boy, Neil, we did it. And there it goes. It's a big one into the close. It's the Nasdaq and it is running and we've got it. We had this before the imbalance. So there it goes, man. Nice move to the high side. So yeah, I'm not really, we're almost exhausted out of this position. It's been a good one. $1 on Nvidia, 80 handles on the futures, and 23andMe is now out.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take the win that we could get on 23andMe. If the imbalance isn't there, you don't take the trade. It's that simple. There was no buy imbalance or sell imbalance, so I just punched out of it. Volume did come in. Maybe there's a trade there tomorrow. You never really know with these things, but we'll take it because it just sort of bled down where we're in. We'll be up on it, but ultimately it's a small down day for me. And it's only because of Tesla. We had one shot in Tesla, which was more than twice as big as any loss that we had. But what I'm looking at now is 355 before I go to the desk. Big imbalance, relatively big imbalances. Apple moved the most to the upside there and is 1.3. I actually don't see Nvidia's buy anymore. Tesla's still 1 million to buy. So I'm looking for the reverse, if it pairs off on Apple, to try to grab it between 354 and 355. Look to short it off. It can't be VWAP because it's not at VWAP. So it'd be like 222.25 is this local high. So I'd look to put a stop in there, or maybe above this little wick. That's 222.30. So it's 5 cents higher, doesn't really matter. So if we get into that last minute before 355, would look to sit in the short. Ideally, it'd be a little bit higher, so it's a tight stop. And then if that imbalance, which sits at 1.3 million, that pairs off and look for the quick reversion trade. So that's about the only thing I'll look for here on AAPL. Tesla short.
It is ripping, right?
I mean, Tesla's also a buy and balance. I just like Apple better because I've actually seen this work on Apple. I've never actually seen the reversal at 355 on Tesla because it usually doesn't have an imbalance. Well, I've seen it work on Apple, so I'll try it on Apple. I'll have Tesla up and I'll observe Tesla on another chart. But both of them are 1.2 million to the buy side. Apple looks like it wants to dip before we even get there, though.
Yeah, Sean, Tesla's reaping. Okay, yeah, what's up? We already said what's up to Valeria. Okay, so more outs here on the futures as we start to pair this off as we come into the close. So, yeah, more outs, more life as we go. So right there, 63.60, 63.50, out, as we get more outs. And then Nvidia out again as we get more outs. So, yeah, not much happening, man, just rapid fire there. I hope you enjoyed the show, as we had just said. You know, even on days where we'll be red, I just hope that we've given you guys some good ideas, some good fun stuff here right now today. Miss Adara leads the way today. So we say congratulations to Adara for the top moneymaker today in Trader TV Live universe. Adara doing all the work on the desk and easily handling all of the traders. So we give a big shout out to Adara. Adara, don't just take all of our jobs, man. I mean, we're going to do something around here. All right, there it is. Now we see what's going to happen right there. So congratulations to Adara, as we love spreading the love around here. There it is, man. 63.40, 63.50. We're going to get some more out right now on this play. So more outs for the TQs, as there we go. The flip has potentially happened. So let's just go over and have a quick look.
They're not moving.
Yeah, nothing's happening right there. Ford, these would be the top one. All those NASDAQ names seem to be pairing off quite nicely right now. Doesn't mean that we don't have a dollar. We got a dollar in the money on Nvidia. And we've got that 70 handles right now on the TQs. So we're just going to get light on all of this, man. Only 4 minutes left. No earnings, I don't think, of significance tonight. Could be wrong on that, but I thought I looked. And
nothing that anybody...
Yeah, there wasn't a whole heck of a lot. So we'll talk about the market. A little bit of a wild day today, obviously. Down decently amount. We were down 2.1, 2.2 there on the NASDAQ. Looks like we'll finish down 1.82%. Neil will be going over, you know, all the sectors and some of the names that were popping through today, including GameStop. I have no idea where that name ended up.
I wasn't looking at it anymore. I did take a shot on Apple. It did flip.
Okay.
But it didn't do anything. And you'll be able to see, oh, that's a 3 minute. Let me put up a 1 minute chart. I use 3 minute charts, which make it very difficult to, there you go. It's no better on a 1 minute. So it flipped, made a lower high. I just got in, but then it didn't do anything. So I just kind of jumped out of it, not going to hold it. If Apple went from 1.3 million to 0 or wherever it is, it certainly didn't give you much of a trade. So there's not much there left on the imbalance. I don't even see it. Tesla's a buy of still 5 million. Nvidia actually flipped to a sell, but Apple no longer on the board. Well, it's a trade that, what I like about this trade and what I'm finding about it is I haven't seen a time where looking at that flip trade has actually risked much of anything. Like, there've been like little tiny in and out flat or like maybe a very small hit, but then we've seen what it can do if it does revert. So I feel like if there's a big imbalance or relatively big imbalance and you get a move and I can play that 355, I'm going to go for it almost every single time because there just hasn't been much downside on it, to be honest with you. Overall, and we'll go over some of the names here in the aftermarket show, but Tesla on big volume, buying into the, relatively big volume, I should say, buying into the close. Some of the biggest volume you'll see, but they were able to hold it. You're back into that 270 range. Still feel like you're a bit of a punish. I think continuation makes the most sense as long as we're under the 200 period moving average. Anything that failed under, I'm thinking continuation, but I'd rather, like tomorrow I might want to give some things shots that held prior levels, like Amazon held 200. That's a 200 period, so that still looks pretty good. But the other side over there for Tesla, I think you almost got there. I almost got there myself. We'll be happy with it.
Yeah, we're trying.
Because it's one of those types of days where all you could do is make sure you stick to your plan and show some discipline, everybody. Yeah. But we got the market recap. I'll join Adara at the desk. We'll go over some names. And thank you, Willis Addison, for the super chat there. Yeah, we have Trump tariff announcements at 4 o'clock too. So
we do?
Fun times.
Oh, okay. Make the tariffs great again. I think that's what he's going to do. So we'll see if that does come through one more time. And thank you to everybody for joining us today as we have a great day ahead of us. You know, tomorrow's going to be wild. The next day is going to be wild. Every day I feel like is a great opportunity to get back what you made or lost the past day, right? And so we will, obviously, we always do that around here, turn our frowns upside down, because what a closing day it was, man. I mean, we went, cleared our head out, and boom. And I was saying this too, it's like the only thing that I got to change, and I want to just say, like, the unsung hero in my life 100% is my wife. Like, she listens to me bitch and complain about all this stuff all the time, and just like, I met her she was working for a real trading office in North Bay. And I was the manager at 22 or 23 years old. You guys know I hired Neil, so on and so forth, of the floor. So she was the manager as well, or working, trading and managing up there in North Bay, and used to come down and visit. And we used to have events like tonight with ICE and so on and so forth. So we had met through there. So she understands exactly what's going on with trading and what I'm all about over here. And so thank you so much, Marissa. I love you so much. Thank you for listening to all of this as we, go back and forth. And really, I think that's important, right? You need to have that. I mean, whatever. I know I'm preaching to the choir. A lot of you probably happily married or not, but you know what I'm saying. It's that extra person in your life that makes a big difference. And then obviously without her, I wouldn't have the kids that I have, and I'd also have probably a lot more money. But okay, so here we go. Not probably. So here we go, man. Palantir looks like it's going to close where it is. We do have the countdown ready to go right now, so we'll hit the countdown. This countdown, of course, brought to you by Foremost Clean Energy. Adara, 5, 4, FMST, 2, and 1. And there it is. There's Adara. We go. A big congratulations. You just saw the #1 trader at Trader TV Live today, P&L wise. Congratulations to Adara right there, although I don't want to tell her, but we made a run at the end of the day. Let's just keep it where it is right now, though. Congratulations to Adara. Congratulations to everybody. What's up to Derek, Monty G, and everybody? What a day. And we'll be back tomorrow. That's about all that I can say. I was pretty proud of myself. We didn't tap into any of those donuts, but I did cut a Raisin Bran muffin. You guys like Raisin Bran muffins? That's one of my favorite muffins. I like the Banana Nut is a good muffin as well. So I like Frosted Flakes more than Corn Flakes, but I do like Corn Flake. I like Raisin Bran, the cereal. But I haven't had cereal in a minute. Like, we used to have cereal a lot growing up, and now I feel like it's banned. Like, you got to have no added anything into cereals right now. But yeah, definitely. I used to have, what was a really bad cereal that I used to have? Captain Crunch. I feel like that was really tasty, but now that I think about it, I think it just tastes like a lot like sugar. So shout out to Captain Crunch. I was a Fruit Loops guy, but not overly. Okay, let's get back over to the desk. Frosted Flakes, man. I mean, they're great. All right, back over to the desk right now. It's Adara. Ramin, you got that camera ready to go? Are you ready to go over there? All right, so thumbs up from that side. Thank you so much for joining. Unfortunately for all of you, I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll see you then.
Talking cereal, you know what? I just saw it got thrown in there. Raisin Bran is, I loved Raisin Bran as a kid. My parents wouldn't let me have sugary cereal, so I had to eat that kind of stuff. And that's the kind of thing, man. Today was one of those bleed days in the market. Obviously, overall, you're going to see a whole sea of red across the board. And we can talk about Tesla. Tesla was down over 7%, now only 5%. But you gave back a bunch of the gains that we saw here in the last couple of sessions. Adara, Nasdaq down 1.8. Not everything, but a lot of that bounce that we had off the lows mid-March last week, you pull into the 200 on Nasdaq, you pull right back in, you're giving up almost half of the gains that we saw there in a single session. I mean, it's not like the S&P is going to be any different. Similar look, not as much of a drop, but a very, very similar look. And when you look across the board, IWM, not as bad as the Nasdaq, but another pullback, and you're going to see a bit of a pattern here. It's like everything just got taken off. And you know what? When you look at some of these charts, whether it's the Qs, whether it's the Russell, whether it's the SPY, it's a downward trend since the highs. We made a bounce. You found a resistance level, and the initial sell, it's like a day trading stock. When you fail a top after a market, you see a reversion, and we saw a bit of a reversion day today, Adara.
Yeah, it was certainly a pretty big reversion day. The way the market, especially Tesla, bounced off of lows is notable. I think Tesla bounced at least $5 off the low, TSLA. But it's funny, too, a lot of tickers, I was talking to Obi about this, a lot of tickers had this setup that sometimes traders like where you have a certain number of gaps up and then things reverse. So there were a couple tickers I was watching for that, for shorts. None of them had set up the way I wanted to. So I was initially thinking, oh, maybe we have a long, tried a long on MSTR, it didn't work. I was like, cool. And then I was like, well, Adira, what tickers were you thinking short regardless of what the market was going to do? So then I found Broadcom and Meta. Both of those are great shorts. Broadcom, I think, especially like knocked it out of the park just on a longer term basis. But Meta was fun as well. Happy with how the day went. And excited to see what tomorrow brings too, because as you mentioned, it's a really interesting note. Not only did we have a reversion of what the market's done, but to use an Opiism, we also had a reversion of the reversion at the end of the day, especially if your name is Tesla. And MSTR as well, the bounce off the lows around 320, which 320 is a huge level for a strategy. They bounced nicely off that, just above that 320 level, but they have yet to clear 345. 345 is another huge level for them. I think their high yesterday around 343. Didn't get anywhere near there today. So I want to see what MSTR does tomorrow, especially with that reversion, the reversion, and the key levels we have into play. But that's just my quick take on everything.
MSTR is relatively strong. If you look at, when we're looking at all of those charts of the indices where you had the pullback and how far you pulled back, relatively speaking, and we'll pull up a few others that have at least a similar look to this. So the market's going down. We found that bottom. Most everything bottomed out here last week or a couple weeks ago. We got the 11th, double bottom on MSTR. But even this pullback, it bounces, as you said, 320, but also holding that 50-period moving average on the daily for MSTR. And I'm looking at, and we said this right before we jumped back to the desk, what are the types of names that show this profile where you have a slight pullback, but into and holding prior high or major moving average? And a few names sort of stick out in that regard. I mean, Amazon stuck out in that regard. Yeah, it didn't catch much of a bid today at the end of the day, but your breakout at 200 and the 200-period moving average, and you just dipped and held 200. That's why I was working off that level in the afternoon and able to get something off of it. And if you can hold this tomorrow, maybe you can catch a little bit of a bounce. I think tomorrow, I'll be open to just about anything in terms of direction. I think you're sitting on the precipice for a lot of interesting names. Like I just juxtapose that with a Palantir. Palantir felt so weak today. But look at, just like MSTR, just like Amazon, it made its low, it broke out resistance, it pulled back, it held the 50-period today. So as bad as it was on Palantir, it never broke 90, it never broke this 50-period moving average. So now you have a really good level to work off tomorrow. Now maybe we'll gap away from it and you can't trade off 90. Maybe you'll gap away in MSTR and you can't trade off 320. You absolutely never know what's going to happen, but at least you come into it with some stocks holding up better than others. Let's go to
GameStop.
GameStop. Adara.
Yeah, so thank you guys on the chat for mentioning this. I hadn't seen this circulate on X, but I found it on Benzinga. GameStop announcing a proposed private offering of $1.3 billion of convertible senior notes. This just now on X is just coming out. So thank you guys. You guys were ahead of the curve on that. Basically, what happened here was GameStop announcing this private offering. I also want to mention the CRSP story because I saw it mentioned in the chat, saw a couple different versions of it. Here's the version that I found according to the press release on Benzinga. So CRISPR Therapeutics, they did not announce a new COO. They announced that their current / I guess now former COO, Julianne Bruno, is going to be stepping down. I read through the press release. I did not see any mention of a replacement, but Julianne Bruno will be gone in less than a month from today. She will be stepping down from her position as COO, Chief Operating Officer. No news on her replacement. No news as to the CEO. I just wanted to clarify that story there.
Yeah, I mean, CRISPR hasn't looked good for a minute. I don't think that's going to help. Well, GameStop, you can buy some Bitcoin now. Raise that money, buy that Bitcoin. That's the plan of action that they want to go with, so why not? They actually they beat on EPS despite declining revenues. Are you surprised that GameStop has declining revenues? I don't think anyone should be. That's one of the reasons why I think they're going with some new strategies here. At least they were able to lean things up a bit. The interesting point for GameStop is it actually was a good long for most of the day before it lost the trend. Like you gapped up, you held the dip at the open, and you were trending until the afternoon when everything fell apart. There's no way you can spin an offering as being fantastic or good The only thing I will posit is at least you haven't broken through the $25 level. So it's not completely out of the woods yet in terms of you could still fall further. We're only like 10 minutes into the aftermarket here. A lot could still happen. We'll keep some eyeballs on it. But there was a big resistance at 25. You got the 200 period down there and the 50 that are still showing some signs of support on GME. And what I like about GME is it's just something you can trade. Like, I don't care if it goes up, down, left, right, center. When the market was trending down all morning, like GameStop was basically giving out some wins to the long side. And there was nothing wrong with staying in there. Like most of the morning, you would have seen me in GameStop sort of going back into the long. It would dip, and we'd get back into it, and then we'd scalp some out, and then it would dip, and you'd buy the dip. And that was working until later in the afternoon when it lost VWAP on GME. So, just be willing to trade in either direction. Momentum is always going to be your friend, and you got to show at least a little bit of patience. But yeah, the offering not good. But hey, they pile more into Bitcoin. If you're a Bitcoin bull, at least it's not bad if they're buying BTC with the funds that they pick up.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting look. And I think, I want to say Sean mentioned this a couple weeks ago. He basically called it in the market recap. But the other thing, too, is it cannot be that surprising because, as we kind of figured, we had Michael Saylor, the king of doing this strategy, literally called the company strategy. And now Brian Cohen taking the photo. It's not super shocking. What else would they be talking about? Like games? Yeah. Chewy? It was clearly about Bitcoin. The Post actually sent GME to the upside. MSTR, I think, got a bit of a bump as well. So not super shocking. I also want to address the glasses here, just because they're going to continue. They're going to be here at least twice a week. They are for my vision. I wear contacts primarily. The glasses will be continuing to happen. And Brian Vickers asking if Elton John called and wants his glasses back. Elton and sorry, you could not have them. They are mine. But yeah, shout out to Elton John.
Elton John.
Shout out to Vision. I like too having the wider glasses frames because you can see everything in the market a little bit better. You have like the wide peripheral and your eyes do not get annoyed by contact lenses. So I did want to do a quick glasses PSA, not market related, but I wanted to address it.
Well, hold on a second. Yeah. I want to address something too. Your vision is everything as a trader.
Yes.
It's everything.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Adara's got to be looking at more screens. I mean, I've sat at the desk when I used to fill in for Brennan. I'll tell anybody if you're a trader, it is a different ball game when you're trying to make sure that you're not missing a news story and getting all the relevant information, or something comes out and you want to get it right. There's a responsibility you feel to the community to make sure you get it. So shout out to you. And by the way, you killed it today trading. So as far as I'm concerned, just from a standpoint of, I don't know if you are superstitious, but like baseball players are superstitious, athletes are superstitious. I know some traders that are superstitious. I wear the same watch every single day that I trade because it's it's not a good luck charm. It's just a reminder of something for me. But you just got to do whatever works for you. And comfort matters so much. That's what it's all about, everybody. And it's all about, the interesting thing about GameStop is they've done stuff like this before, and it's been rumored for a while. They're just finally pulling through this. I think the first time we heard this was almost a year ago that they were looking or considering getting into Bitcoin. So about time here that they pull the trigger. Just to go over some other things that happened. I know we haven't really covered, we talked about the tech. We talked a little bit about the SPY, the Russell, showed you some individual names that held up better than others. But one thing that I'm looking at here, like the financials took a bit of a hit. They weren't down that much. The XLF was only down 0.3, which isn't ultimately that bad, but it's the candle. And there's a few of these. Remember how we were showing things that, hey, they got to a major moving average and held a major moving average? Well, this, and again, it matters what happens next, obviously, but it's not the best sign. Let me look. Can I find somewhere on the financial XLF here where I have a similar looking candle and what happened later? I don't know if you can follow along. So we lost the 52-week high with a similar reversal candle, and you just bounced with the relief rally in the market and then had a wick high on the SPY. This is why I sold half of my TD shares in Canada. TD's a bank in Canada, by the way. And I already bought this once on XLF. It's one of the names I want to DCA into this year, and I want to be able to get it again. If we pull back into the 200 period moving average, I'm going to take the money that I sold in a Canadian bank. I'm not centered in this shot. It's bothering me. That I sold in that bank, and I want to be able to dip buy this because I actually think you could see a reversal, and that brings us to like a potential trade. I've I've traded ETFs before. I traded the Russell a couple times. Usually I only ever trade the
I
Russell.
like the Russell.
If it's one of those Fed days, that's usually the time you'd look at it. But XLF, after that topping tail candle, I think you gotta look for this for a little bit of continuation. And whether that is a bit of a head and shoulders look here, a break of the lows, whatever we can see for tomorrow. Because it did this same move at the highs. We get the relief rally, you go into the lower high at that 50 period, and you're running into a little bit of trouble. So, sometimes we try to look at these indices as leading indicator. You could look at individual names that you might like. Maybe there's a bank that you like to trade. I'm just going to be looking at XLF tomorrow for sure. You can see here uranium had a bad day. And this is something that I know Michael Noss was talking about. I've never played specifically in uranium, but heading right back into some support levels at that 22, 23 area. So this is something which is not that strong. It did not do that good of a bounce. Relative weakness on a day where everything is weak. And I think you watch out for URA. Could make a bit of a flat bottom break and not looking very healthy over there on that particular one. As Randy pointed out, we did have some good looks in some of the energy names. He was mentioning XOM looking good. Chevron broke out here today up 1% and looking very, very strong. Chevron, XOM doing really well. Like it just broke into a local high, looking like it wants to test some of those highs. So you had some strength overall in energy. I start with those names because I like them. And then XLE, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer on this because showed you that you're breaking out on XOM, showed you that you're breaking out in Chevron. But if you actually look at the ETF, it has a reversal candle on it. So for those out there, I mean, if you look at those names at those highs, maybe you want to take some profit off if we get some continuation here on the overall indice. Those topping tail candles in a reversal market sometimes are a good idea to take some profit off the top because I feel like it's the kind of year where if you bought dips, you want to take profit and then rinse and repeat. It's not the last couple of years with 20% this, 20% that on the year. You buy it and you just hold it because you're going to be good. I don't think we're in that environment.
No.
I think when you get a good bid in there and you see a reason that you should take some out, pay yourself. Man, I paid myself on Tesla from the 222 buy, and I'm now happy that I did it. I can make a decision. If it retests 220, I'm probably not going to buy back at 220. I think I'm just going to hold it and wait for something underneath the 180 level, around the 180 level on Tesla. But we have no update from Trump yet. But the expectation, Adara, was finish the conference, the Women's History Conference, and then we get some updates on the auto tariffs. We haven't heard anything yet. And
he also said literally that he would be addressing the auto tariffs. He had a big announcement on auto tariffs that he was supposed to be making. To my knowledge, he hasn't made it yet. He stepped off the podium a couple minutes ago. I put it in the chat when it happened. But I've been looking at this chat. So Novo Nordisk on watch here. People were mentioning this one down a little bit. Yeah, it has been pretty weak as of late. Saw a little bit of a spike post-market. I can really only see this when I use the trading view chart. Couldn't find any news on this, a little bit of social media attention, but yeah, let's go to a daily because this has gotten beaten up, and I apologize, I have some VWAPs on this. But yeah, look here, we were decently holding kind of some support in this 78 level for a while, gave it up, and honestly, right now, it seems like unless we can kind of reclaim and bounce off the 73 level in the daily, it looks like we don't really have much support resistance until we get to this lower high from March 2023, around 67. So let's see what happens here, closing around 72s. It's been a really rough last couple of days for this one. And they used to be the top company in Europe until recently, publicly traded company. SAP took them out a couple of days ago. So that was on our watch list when that happened. But just keep an eye here on NVO. I would say someone mentioned this in the chat, so I thought it would be worth it to bring up. I'm not seeing anything here on X that is super moving. I will pull up.
Oh, Novo's weekly chart is a mess.
Let me look at this week. I just looked at the daily here. Oh, yeah, the weekly.
You know what this chart looks like? And this weekly chart looks very similar to SMCI. If you look at that parabolic move that SMCI, now obviously there's different circumstances, but the parabolic move that SMCI make, and it gave it all back.
Yeah.
And what I love about this, and I don't, first of all, actually that's a bad way to frame it. If you look at Eli Lilly, because I own Eli Lilly, I just think it's the better way to play this space. If you look at Eli Lilly while all this is happening, one of these does not look like the other. I think you're breaking trend on Eli Lilly. I've taken some profit out on Lily in my personal account a couple of times in the area of 900. I think one time I actually got above 900. The other time I got like 888 or something like that. But I still think you're probably headed potentially for a retest. But Novo, look, they're not dead. Whoops, I typed in Novo instead of NVO. It's hilarious because I said Novo. So you type what you say sometimes around here. No, but at some point, this is just going to have fallen too far. I had no idea it was bleeding this badly. On a weekly chart, if you fill it all in until it started going parabolic, that's $60. You are 1 or 2 bad days away from that key level on Nova, which all of a sudden, thank you, Adara, is going onto my radar on Novo Nordisk. That is unbelievable how bad it's been for them.
And the thing is, too, Neil, I pulled up the weekly on SMCI. I honestly argue that the Novo weekly looks worse. Yeah. Because SMCI, sure, you had like a little bit of a nice downtrend, absolutely. Was it parabolic and did it fall epically? Yes and yes. But then Novo Nordisk almost has that head and shoulders type look. Yeah. So you've got, it's not a perfect neckline. We have a neckline in and of around the vicinity of this 120 level, right? We get a shoulder. Here, that would be at around 137. So we get another a head here coming through 148, get another shoulder around that 137, 140, and then we get, to use a Sharifism, a quadunk. Yep. That's on the weekly chart. I would honestly argue the Novo chart just because it had these higher highs. It gave you a little bit of hope. And then the fall was just so epic. And also the difference to me between Novo and SMCI. Novo's ongoing story here with CAGR-SEMA is a mess, and if you don't know what's happening there, twice now, once in December and then once again a couple weeks ago, their CAGR-SEMA results, that's their, I guess, groundbreaking combined weight loss drug, they have repeatedly shown to be actually worse than we were expecting. And so the first time, I think they said 21% efficacy, second time, somewhere in the high teens. The point is, people were looking for 25% efficacy. So these numbers just keep getting worse than the expectation. I'm not going to go on and on about GLP or GLP-1 related, I guess, outlook, but as someone who trades a lot of these, Lily, something I do keep an eye on. So NVO, the point I'm trying to make is we have this ongoing pretty rough catalyst, but it's also not the same as SMCI, which repeatedly had life-ending catalyst after life-ending catalyst after life-ending catalyst. So for NVO to be dropping lower when really that's the only major story it has going against it, I honestly think that makes it so much worse because you would think SMCI charts would be 50 times worse than it is, just given the amount of repeated bad press this name gets. And I'm not trying to disparage the name. I'm just saying from a technical standpoint and from a fundamental standpoint of just these stories continuing to happen.
Yeah, you would have had analysts all the time on Novo saying, hey, it looks good here, GLP is good, all the way down on technicals.
Exactly.
And then you didn't have that on SMCI because you had the opposite. On SMCI, people were just giving you reasons. It was just giving you reasons to get out. But I saw in the chat people mentioning GameStop here. And Chris in the chat, why is GME going down? GME with a 1.3 private offering, 1.3 billion private offering. They'll buy some Bitcoin with that, I assume. And that's the reason for the drop in the aftermarket here. So yeah, they're up on earnings. Technically still up. I mean, they're up 3% from prior close, but giving up all of the real gains that it had today, let's just say in the open market, and underneath some of these bottoms is GameStop because of that dilution that you will see there. At least it's not something that you're not accustomed to if you're into GameStop. And once again, it does this is a stock which has shown this pattern before, but I'll just point out it's still technically making higher lows. It does give you some opportunity. Maybe there'll be a bit of a bounce off one of these major moving averages. I meant to go back to a daily chart here. You just saw the daily chart up for GameStop. You're still at least holding on to this nice little consolidation around the 25, so you're above that. That could give you an area of support if you're trading it tomorrow. Ultimately, when it reversed, I went to flip short in the afternoon. I'll probably lean, depending on where it is, I'll probably lean to the short tomorrow, unless it's at that 25 level for sure. And that's what it's going to be all about. At the end of the day, what goes up in small cap world sometimes comes down.
Goes around, comes back around. That I told you. Hey. Yeah. Shout out to that song.
Good joint there for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Look, if anyone has any other questions in the chat, there's no such thing as a bad question. You felt like what happened in this stock, what happened in that stock, you're curious about it. I was keeping an eye on some of the auto names, just in the off chance. We were expecting to get something from President Trump regarding auto tariffs. You're going to see, yeah, GM's down, yeah, Ford's down. Everything was down anyways, and you are getting a big pullback. But this is the area where, really? you're going to hold an upward trend heading into April 2nd. Now, obviously, it was really good news that some of the auto parts weren't going to have, going to be exemptions on some of the auto parts. I think that's good news bigger news for Magna, who makes parts, but still good news overall for the automakers. But they didn't catch any kind of a bid here. And you wonder if some of that exuberance could go out the window heading into the second. Like, you're going to have an obvious area at $50 on General Motors that we might see a test of tomorrow, depending on what gets said tonight. Like, who knows? You know, we could get an announcement that, I'll be lenient on auto tariffs. You have no idea what's going to be said. But you got to watch GM, I think. That's the one I'm going to be trading. I haven't traded Ford in a very long time. I think any kind of big news that comes out or any bearish sentiment that takes you through 50, that's one that I want to have a look at for sure. Stevenson ETN. So the Piper won first two. Are you red or green today? I was red to start. Got green on Tesla. You guys saw that one shot on Tesla. Ended up down a small amount. Despite I had maybe 3 stocks I was up on and like 5 that I was down on, but it was small down because of my style of trading, and you'll see it. Hits my stop, I get out. You know, I tend to want to get that one entry point, and then I want to have the one exit. Like, I don't want to make a mess out of it. So I tend not to have, you know, 2 big headshots or anything like that. But today was one of those days. There just weren't enough winners. Like, GME was good for me, and Tesla was good for me. An iBit was solid. But for most part, it's like you take a shot here, but it would just run the stop, and then you get out. There was a couple of other questions here. One of them was what a book you can read on risk management for Stevenson ETN. I say this every single time someone asks me for a book that helps you in trading in this way. And it's not a trading book. It is Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke, the poker player. And it has to do with how you evaluate your decision making. Because to me, managing your risk is about making decisions. And you can't make good decisions if you don't know how to evaluate your decisions. And to break it down a little bit, it's mostly about not resulting. If you play poker, and she's a poker player, and I've played some poker, whether or not, like if I go in with deuce 7 and Adara has aces, and I make a play, and she's got the goods, and I make a bluff, and she calls, you know, she calls my all-in, let's just say, and the flop comes out duds, and I go runner and hit 2 pair to beat the aces. I will have won a big pot. But if you measure the decision when I got my money in bad that I won, who cares? No good poker player would ever look at that and say that that was a good decision. I'll use an example. I'm just going to throw up any chart and be able to show you an example of this here. Like, let's look at GM here. Let's imagine a scenario where I shorted this bottom break on GM at like 51, and, you know, like I shorted it on this move. I chased it all the way down, and let's say I averaged in when it was coming back into the upside, and I so happened to, you know, give it all the way up here, took a really, really risky play way against me, and then average it in, say I have an average price of like 51.5 because I get halfway. It comes back down into here, and I get out for a winning trade. Now, the way I would evaluate that is, okay, yeah, it probably won, but let's evaluate the decisions here. I took a bottom, averaged into the top, happened to not get stopped out, and then didn't even give myself a chance for the bigger win. Now, that's fine if you're giving it the wide stop to hold it to the bottom. Because if you do that strategy, your risk to reward makes sense, and it's still solid decision making. But if you do, even if you won on that trade, you took it all out in here when you were averaged in $2.50 against you, and then you only took it out when it barely goes past break even, that's not a good decision. You could be up on the stock, but did you make a good decision? Probably not. So what I love about that book is it goes through how you evaluate your decisions as opposed to your results. And in trading, that is very, very important. All I can tell you is I have traded for 20 years. I've always been a trader who is just more consistent and doesn't take the big hits. Sometimes it means I'm not going to lead an office in a month. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't think about those things. I just value the consistency in trading. And I think what has helped me the most is I used to always think that way without realizing I was doing it. And that book really sold it home. It's called Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke. She's very, very smart. She's spoken to CEOs. I have a friend who was in banking who was at a talk with hers, and he was even telling me about that book after I had read it. He's like, you should read that book. I'm like, I absolutely have. It's a fantastic one. So I hope that answered your question,
That's awesome.
Stevenson, and good luck there. I think it's so important. Risk management is the most important aspect of trading and investing, and how to properly do it starts with your decision making, in my opinion. GameStop catching a little bit of a bounce here, Dara. We only have a couple of minutes left. It has caught a bid. It's the 1.3 million offering, and not too much from Trump, or nothing from Trump so far after market here.
Yeah, I have to say, I was a little bit confused when they said 4 p.m. after you already had an event at 3 p.m. Trump is not known for his ability to start a thing on time.
Yep.
And I'm not trying to say that as an insult. It is just factually a fact as someone who has to follow the news. I remember one time we were just looking at a blank podium and there was really bad static for like half an hour, right? So what I'm trying to make is it's not super shocking, but we do not have that announcement yet. But Neil, that might make it even more interesting when we get the announcement,
right,
most likely sometime tonight. Also, I want to go over this here. I posted this on X, TTV Research. This is something I'm going to be trying to do every day when I have the opportunities to do so. And here is just some events on watch for tomorrow. So earnings by far, Lululemon, the biggest here, coming through at 4:05 p.m. after the close. Bitfarms coming through tomorrow morning. That's a BITF. They've run it in the past. They've rallied in the past. I believe they're based in Canada. So keep an eye on BITF. Economic data, we have GDP at 8:30 a.m., some home sales data at 10 a.m., and then some company events tomorrow. ACB, keep an eye on MSOS for that. They're going to be attending this Global Cannabis Regulatory Summit. This is day 2 of the event. Dutch Bros with this Investor Day, so keep an eye on that one, and maybe Starbucks of sympathy. AbbVie attending the Anti-Aging and Aesthetics Medicine World Conference. They're going to be at this twice. So long story short, here are all the events to keep an eye on. I will continue to be posting these when I have the opportunity to do so on X for whatever day we have coming forward. So tomorrow could actually have some decent movers. And yeah, thank you so much to everyone in the chat for being here, because we're so happy to be here with you guys every single day. And I think tomorrow, like today, I think a lot of opportunities in this market. And I hope tomorrow will give the same amount, especially, I'm going to be keeping an eye for sure on AbbVie and Bros based on this too.
Well, stick with MSTR because you've been crushing on the stocks. You always, whatever is your best stock on the day, you don't have to trade it the next day, but if you don't at least pull it up to see if it sets up, you're going to hate yourself. Every time I've made that mistake, I've always hated myself for it. Whatever your best stock was, it's the first chart I pull up in the morning. You make sure you have the level 2 up. It's like, if something is there, I want to make sure I'm on it because he had a good read the day before. Shout out to Gus Phillips, who, was it last call? We're about to see great economic collapse. I have had a vision. It's coming before Easter. I hope not, Gus. But speaking of the chat, I don't know. I still think we could see some downside. I've been feeling that for a bit. I raised a little bit of cash today for sure. But I just want to give a shout out to everybody. You know what time it is. It's roll call time, everybody. It is 4:30. And you know what to do, but if you don't, this is where we go rapid fire action. Everybody in the chat gets a chance to hear their name read by Dara in that rapid fire, but you have to be a subscriber to be in the chat. So hit that like, hit that subscribe button right now. Jump in the chat and give a big shout out to Ramin, also Fabian on the 1s and 2s all day long. Our good friend Andre. I almost said my roommate from university. Andre on our socials doing a great job. The midday boys. Obi filling in for me tomorrow in the afternoon, but you've got Sharif and you've got Joseph, Joey options in there. Thank them. Big shout out to Sean, Brendo, and Adara, always crushing it. And of course to you, Bears versus Bulls, the best moderator in the business. So drop it in the chat. What up, Adam DeLuz? I see you in there as well. And get the roll call on.
Thank you so much to our lovely, hardworking moderator, Bears versus Bulls. Neil, Sean, Obi. Oh boy, watch out for that tomorrow. We got the Bash Brothers, Joe and Sharif. We have Brendan. We have also our awesome production team, Fabian, Ramin, Andre, and so many people in the chat. Skirt, a couple times here. Cold King, nephew with capital P, Anvesh. I want to shout out Adam DeLuz, Damian Tarza, 2002 Toyota Hilux, Sammy Robinson, Stevenson, Etienne, Dylan Patel, Corey Profits, Henry Gray, Patrick Bryan, the Piper Bull ×7, so you're very bullish. Marie, Double Tap Forever, Olivia Roscoe, Daryl Flinch, Black Ops, Ali, Hamon Key Luck, Lionel Gonzalez. We've got S3 Mezith, Cold King Blue Army again here. We got, DJ 2AM, Never Always Ever, Ash K, Swizer, Juan, Blue York, Christopher, Amahamada, and Jersey Sean, and we'll end here with Yoshi G and Hans Beer. Thank you so much for being with us today. And I liked your advice there, Neil, because I found that actually is helpful. Make sure whatever stock you found you did well on today, take a look at that tomorrow. Whatever stock you did the worst on today, reflect on that as well.
Yes.
What decisions would you make tomorrow? Because it's not about the P&L in the end. It's always about the process, and it's about learning.
Yeah, keep that process, everybody. So you know what to do. We'll be back tomorrow morning. It's going to be a wild one because you know volatility's in this market. So We are Trader TV Live. This has been the ProfitX Recap Show, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8:30. Bye, everybody.